was the architect of the Congress's manifesto. Sir, I know your party has taken a decision not to engage or speak on the exit polls, but I want to ask you this before we go ahead. What would you believe are the two key things that worked well for the India Alliance in these elections, and what would be the two things that did not work as up to expectations?
Well, I can't speak for all of India. I can only say from my personal experience in Tamil Nadu and visits to a couple of southern states, what worked for us was one, the manifesto. Number two, the aggressive, assertive campaign mounted by the India bloc leaders. And three, the cohesion between Congress, DMK, SP, RJD, Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, and NCP Sharad Pawar. I think all six leaders worked together and mounted an aggressive campaign. I have elsewhere described it as an unusually aggressive campaign. I think these are the things that worked for us. What may not work for us, may not have worked for us, I'll have to wait to talk to my colleagues when I return to Delhi.
Right. Mr. Chidambaram, the Congress manifesto was in some point the focal point of the BJP's campaign, because the Prime Minister consistently talked about it. In fact, he brought in the issue of Muslim quotas, things that the manifesto did not say, said, all that. How do you feel about that, sir?
Well, I was surprised that the Prime Minister did not speak about his own party's manifesto. I have not heard a single speech of the Prime Minister or any of the other leaders of the BJP where they went into the contents of their manifesto and sold the promises of the manifesto. In fact, the manifesto was only a string of praises for Mr. Narendra Modi. There was no structure or content to the manifesto. Okay. The manifesto was not even called election manifesto. Whereas in the Congress's manifesto, there were specific statements, specific promises, and specific schemes. And as far as I know, they became the widely talked about points among the people. For example, the Mahalakshmi scheme, the apprentice scheme, the 400 rupees minimum wage for Maganrega workers, the loan write-off for defaulted education loans, okay, the 30 lakh vacancies that will be filled. Right. I think everybody, every section of the people knew about these specific promises.
Sir, while you make that point, and I know I don't want to ask you for a reaction on the exit poll numbers which are flashing on our screens as we speak to you. No, I'm not asking you for that. The Home Minister has said that the Congress is in denial mode and hence not participating in the exit polls conversation. How do you respond to that?
I have no comment. This is an indirect way of asking me to comment on the exit poll. Okay. I've never commented on an exit poll.
Okay, Mr. Chidambaram, a lot of us feel that, after the Ayodhya Pran Pratishtha ceremony, the Congress could have put in a lot of effort, but it seemed to a lot of us that the Congress started a little bit late. Do you think there were some problems with the party's campaign, at least with respect to, like starting early?
The campaign at the top was not slack. The campaign at the top was quite vigorous, quite aggressive, and quite intense. But I don't know the campaign at the constituency level or the district level. I don't know the campaign mounted by each candidate and the district Congress committees and the block Congress committees. I can't speak about that. I can only speak about Tamil Nadu and to some extent about Kerala.
And so what would your expectations be with regard to Tamil Nadu and Kerala? Because some of the earlier, initial trends are saying that the DMK Congress alliance could be doing really well in Tamil Nadu, but the BJP could also be making a mark there.
I maintain what our alliance leaders have consistently maintained since April 19, when Tamil Nadu went to polls. For the last 1.5 months, we have all maintained, after intense analysis and getting feedback from the ground, that we are poised to win all 40 seats in Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. The margins may be lower than last time because the parties were fighting separately and they will poll their respective votes. But I think we are poised to win all 40 seats. Last time, we slipped in one seat because of internal problems. If there are special internal problems in a constituency of which I'm not aware, we may slip in one constituency or the other. But by and large, we are confident that we will win all the 40 seats.
As you say that, sir, would you agree that one of the problems for the Congress is that, like a Tamil Nadu or a Kerala in the south, you don't have that one state in the north, which is a direct Congress-BJP battle, where the Congress can claim to sweep. And sweep, by sweep, I mean win all the seats. Even in states where the Congress says it is doing well, it's only still looking at a close second position to the BJP. Would you believe that that's the key problem?
That's not correct. In 2019, it was practically a straight fight between BJP and Congress in Punjab, and the Congress won 8 of the 13 seats. Today, I think it's a straight fight between Congress and BJP in Haryana, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh. Therefore, either you win or lose. But those are straight fights. We have won in these states, we have lost in these states.
Okay.
So I don't agree that there are no states in which there is a straight fight between the Congress and the BJP.
I mean, win or lose by a huge margin. I'm talking of sweep. I mean, doing away with the BJP in a state, like winning 25 out of 25 in a state. You don't have that kind of states in the north.
Maybe you're right. We may not have even a state in the south if the Congress and the BJP fought alone without an alliance against each other. There's no state in the south either. In the south, we have always had alliance on one side and alliance on the other. So you're asking a hypothetical question.
Okay.
Where there's no state in the south either.
Professor Sandeep Shastri here has a quick question for you as well, who's on the panel here. Go ahead, Professor Shastri.
Sir, with the polls more or less closing, would you believe that given the type of focus you had on the Congress manifesto, it may have been better if the alliance had come up with a manifesto, had come up with a common minimum program, had a common strategy in the campaign? Would that have boosted the chances of the alliance much more?
I can't comment on that, but I can point out the difficulty. The alliance parties are essentially single state parties. DMK in Tamil Nadu, SP in UP, RJD in Bihar, Shiv Sena in Maharashtra. It's very difficult for a national party joining hands with other state parties to evolve a common manifesto for the whole country. It's very difficult. It's possible if you form the government, you can have a common minimum program. But pre-election, before the election, it's very difficult to try to forge a common manifesto. I would not be able to do that. And maybe there is somebody you have in mind who can work on such a manifesto. It's very difficult.
Thank you, Mr. Chidambaram, for joining. joining us. That was former Finance Minister and Home Minister P. Chidambaram joining us, talking about the pluses and minuses of the Congress campaign. But Veera, we look at the numbers there. The numbers have trickling in, and we do have some sense of clarity, at least with respect to some South Indian states. And we do have an esteemed panel with us, and a panel of guests. Professor Sandeep Shastri joins us, Professor Shugata Srinivasa Raju, and also Amitabh Tiwari, who's a political analyst, is joining us, also a data expert. Thank you all of you for joining us on NDTV.
That's right. You know, we've got all of them, and you've got both Sandeep Shastri and Shugata Srinivasa Raju from Karnataka. Let's start with Karnataka in terms of the numbers. Some of the polls predicting, they're 3 to 5 for the Congress, some predicting up to 7, but the Congress's own expectations was much, much, much higher. When you see these exit poll projections that are coming out in terms of Karnataka, what do we make of it?
Also, because there was so much talk about guarantees, Professor Shastri, I remember you telling me that it's going to be a close fight. But tell us, these are just exit poll numbers and we have to wait till the 4th of June. But clearly, there is something about the Congress campaign that may not have worked if the numbers are just going to remain the same as 2019.
If these numbers hold out, what it clearly shows is the trend continuing of the Karnataka voter making a clear distinction between a Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha poll. We have seen this in the past 3 elections. The Congress or the Congress-led coalition is in power in the state, but they lose the Lok Sabha election. So if these trends are going to be what we see on the 4th of June, it clearly indicates the Karnataka voter, mindful of the fact that you have a Congress government in Karnataka, has focused on the Lok Sabha elections and the government which is likely to come to power in Delhi.
So the JDS alliance did work out, isn't it, Shugata?
Yeah, see, people thought of the JDS as a South Karnataka party, but they forgot to sort of point out that the JDS has small numbers of, say, 1 lakh votes or 1.5 lakh votes in, say, Kalyan Karnataka or in the Belgaum area, in those areas. So even if the BJP, assuming that the BJP was not as buoyant or as good as last time, I think something made up. And it's an alliance of 2 dominant communities, Lingayats and Okaligas. And the OBCs, majority of the OBCs except the Kurubas, have always gone with the BJP. So I am not really surprised with the numbers. I am surprised with the, if there is a drop of, I was expecting around 10 for the Congress. And if there is a drop, then the old trends continue as
Let's just look at the numbers that we have. We have what? We have 1, 2, 3. We've got about 6 exit polls on Karnataka specifically. The highest number that I see on my screen for the Congress is about 8. Most of them predicting 6, 7 to 5, 4 to 8, 3 to 5 kind of thing. The India Today Axis My India poll saying 23 to 25 for the NDA, 3 to 5 for the Congress. Jan Ki Baat giving 21 to 23 for the NDA, 7 to 5 for the Congress. India TV CNX giving 19 to 25 for the Congress. That's a huge range. 19 to 25 for the NDA and 4 to 8 for the Congress. So by and large, directionally, the polls seem to be suggesting that yes, the Congress may gain seats compared to its 2019 performance, which was a disaster for the party, when it had an alliance with JDS, but suggesting that the BJP still seems to be holding firm to its bastion there along with JDS. But Manisha Priyam also joins us very quickly. Manisha, what is the takeaway then for the BJP itself? Because much was spoken about the internal battles within the BJP. If these exit poll numbers, and obviously it's a big if, hold true on the 4th of June, what is the takeaway for the state BJP unit?
So definitely the shift away to Yediyurappa, going back to old style politics, that's what seems to have paid off for them. So, that plus whatever alliance has been made with the JDS, that's been a plus factor definitely. I do believe that it's a dramatically different election even as compared to the state elections for Karnataka, and I think that's what paid off for the BJP definitely to be in pole position. For the Congress party, lots of answering to do, because they had just about swept the assembly election with such large numbers. I think the soul searching will have to be done on their part as to why they are not able to move the ground, having done it just immediately in the past.
Yeah, the other point that I wanted to make is the ticket distribution of the Congress. When I've been writing about it, I was pretty skeptical about it, because 18 of the 28 were, it was a very incestuous kind of a distribution, children of ministers, brothers, daughters-in-law. So, they were very, very risk averse. So that is, I think, may have contributed. We still have to wait for the results. Right. But that's one thing. And the second thing is delivery of the guarantees. Nobody has been reporting that in the national press. The delivery of the guarantees, there has been a lot of last mile problems.
We'll have to hold all this and verify all this on the 4th of June. But Tamil Nadu is the other state, Amitabh, that's interesting here. We've got again about five polls that have come out, and some predicting 1-2 seats for the NDA. There 2 to 4 in some of the polls as well that's coming out. That is again an extremely interesting result, because the AIADMK, most exit polls seem to be showing 0 to 2. That's the highest range that we see for the AIADMK, whereas the NDA, in fact, the India TV CNX even predicting 5 to 7. ABP C Voter predicting 0 to 2. India News D Dynamics predicting 2. India Today, Axis My India predicting 2 to 4. Amitabh Tiwari, quickly your reaction on Tamil Nadu before I go to A. Saravanan of the DMK, who joins us live.
No, essentially it's in line with the estimates, because people were believing that the BJP will be able to open its account this time, because they have emerged as a clear alternative to the DMK, at least at the national level. And if you see, what is happening is that even the best estimates are showing 7 seats, which means if the BJP has been able to make severe dent in the AIADMK votes, which is largely anti-DMK vote, then the BJP will be able to do well in few seats like Theni or a Kanyakumari or Coimbatore, where Annamalai is contesting.
Right. We have A. Saravanan joining us. He's from the DMK. So how do you see most of the early surveys, exit poll surveys, predicting a clear, comfortable win for the DMK, but of course saying that the BJP is also going to make a mark with at least 2 to 3 seats. And today the Prime Minister coincidentally was also in Kanyakumari, and he has said that, his love for Tamil Nadu is not limited by politics. It's an ideological thing for him. So clearly you do have a rival in the making. If not, it's being manifested now straight away. But clearly the BJP is rising in Tamil Nadu, isn't it?
See, if the exit polls in the state of Tamil Nadu is how exit polls are conducted across the country, take it from me, BJP will not be able to get 200 to 220 seats, not more than that. BJP is not winning this election.
Saravanan.
It is the India Alliance which is going to win this election. We all know what the Godi media does.
Okay.
The Godi media in the last 10 years have been an enabler of the BJP government, and they are trying to do the same even now. I'm telling you, we are having reports from the state of Tamil Nadu. In the state of Tamil Nadu, we have been there on the ground. BJP will not be able to win even a single seat. The next dominant party in the state of Tamil Nadu is ADMK. If for something people are not going to choose DMK, they will choose only ADMK, not the BJP, because BJP has not done anything for the state of Tamil Nadu. They will not be able to win any seat from the state of Tamil Nadu. They have betrayed. If the Prime Minister is doing his tapas at let me finish. At Vivekananda Rock, probably that is to atone for his betrayals to the state of Tamil Nadu. And you are discussing about Karnataka as though already
Saravanan, hang on, my friend.
Let me finish.
Hold on to Tamil Nadu first. No. You made a lot of points, and I'm just going to ask you a very quick question in terms of Tamil Nadu. Very quickly, even if the BJP wins 1 seat in Tamil Nadu and gets a significant vote share elsewhere, would you agree that that's a big threat for the DMK? A. B, while you say that, and I agree that these are all purely just exit polls at this stage, the indication seems to be that the NDA alliance, that's with several different factions of different parties in Tamil Nadu, seems to be doing better than the AIADMK-DMDK alliance. Is that the other threat that you're saying? Let's just for a moment take the exit polls on face value.
If the exit polls are to be taken on face value, it is the ADMK which has to do a lot of soul searching. See, we have told it is the USP of the BJP, ally with a local party, regional party, demolish that and try to take their votes. That is what the ADMK is the party which has to be afraid of the BJP, and I think Mr. Edappadi Palaniswamy took the right call by not allying with the BJP. And let me come back to Karnataka. And you are discussing that they are not going to, the trend is last elections. In Karnataka, BJP won 26 seats. If they are not getting 26 seats, if all the exit polls are not giving them 26 seats, then it is a climb down.
Okay,
and you think after, just let me finish this. See, after Prajwal Revanna's episode, and after Mr. Modi campaigning for Prajwal Revanna, at least in the 14 seats, you think the people of Karnataka are not going to vote
let's
NDA?
get RP
Because
Singh,
they
BJP
supported Prajwal
spokesperson there.
Revanna? What kind of a joke is this?
Yes.
What kind of a joke are this?
Okay,
People are
Saravanan,
playing
we've
by
got
kind
it.
of
You'll
this
have
exit
enough time
polls.
to argue this after the 4th of June.
Yes, we
Until
will
the
do it.
4th of
We
June
will
as
do
well, we
it.
can debate
Prior
about the
to
exit
that,
polls.
it is my
But
duty.
for the
See,
moment,
let me finish this.
you know, let's...
No, Raghav, let me finish this. See, prior to that, this is just a perception management, and today, what you have to discuss is this. Mr. Jairam Ramesh has put out a tweet that Jai Shah had spoken to 150 collectors.
Mr. RP
What is
Singh,
the
would you
reason?
like to respond
Why should he
to
speak to
whatever Mr.
150
Saravanan is saying?
collectors?
Because
That is
the
what you
exit
should
poll
discuss.
survey seem to
Not
suggest
this
that your
imaginary
party
exit poll
could be headed to a
where the
comfortable
Godi media
victory.
is again
Was
exposed.
it within your expectations, sir? Mr. Singh?
I didn't get you.
Mr. RP Singh, would you like to respond to what the DMK spokesperson has been saying? Clearly, some exit polls have shown BJP to be, getting 1 or 2 seats in Tamil Nadu and also in Kerala. What are your expectations from the south of India?
Well, all exit poll has shown that we are getting 1 or 2 seats, and some have shown that we are touching 5 also. So don't say that some exit poll shows. Some exit poll shows 2, but there is some which shows 5 also. So this time we are going to open our account in Tamil Nadu also, and then it's very clear that people are fed up of the DMK style of working, the corruption in the DMK government, the way the DMK government has performed. And then it's also the way they have tried to bifurcate the country on the name of Saratna, and they're trying to divide the society on the name of Saratna. So people are going to respond on that. And then from here on, we will take the journey forward. And then we are very sure that we will do better in forthcoming assembly election also. And we will be power to reckon with in forthcoming assembly election. And it's not only Tamil Nadu, in even Kerala, we are opening our account. In Karnataka, in spite of all the best efforts by Mr. Siddharamaiah and Mr. Sheikh Kumar, we are doing quite well. As per your exit poll, we are touching almost 25 to 26 seats. Give me a second, please? In Telangana, we are increasing our tally. In Andhra, we are doing much better, and we probably will win 4 seats. I don't know what your exit poll shows, or you have shown the exit poll on Andhra and all. So put together, we'll be one of the leading parties in South this time.
Okay, we'll have a special focus on Andhra Pradesh. Remember, it's a simultaneous election there, both assembly as well as parliamentary election later in the show. But for the moment, we have Professor Jyotsna Tirunageri of the TDP. Ma'am, most exit polls, and I only have the numbers as far as the parliamentary election is concerned, suggesting a clear win for the NDA. The lowest number that seems to be is from the Jan Ki Baat poll, giving just 10 to 14 for the Alliance and 13 to 8 for the YSR CP. ABC voter saying 21 to 25 for the NDA. In terms of the assembly election, is the worry then really of whether the TDP by itself will have a majority, or will it be just possibly falling shy of that? Is that the worry for the TDP at the moment?
Raghav, I don't think it's a worry at all, because we are winning, and we are winning big. Let me reiterate my statement. We are winning, and we are winning big. Because when it comes to the assembly numbers, almost majority of the surveys have given anything plus 125 to the alliance. So our alliance is doing really good when it comes to the assembly thing. And also in the parliament, as you rightly suggested and noted it down, Raghav, we are very going very good in terms of parliament numbers also. The maximum that has been given to us is somewhere around 20 plus, and the minimum, as you said, is given to us is somewhere around 13. So we are doing good. No worry at all when it comes to Andhra Pradesh. We are forming the government. And the major issues, as I earlier quoted also in NDTV, were the governance issues and the unmet promises by YSRCP. The pulse of the people is very
Also
clear.
joining us now is Tausifur Rahman of the TMC. Sir, most of the exit polls, the trends that have come in right now say that the BJP could be increasing its tally of 18 seats to at least 21 to 26. In fact, there are at least 3 surveys that say that the BJP could be somewhere around 22 to 25, and the TMC could be reduced to say 18 to 16 seats. And so that, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened in your state in the last 1 year, from ED raids to arrests of ministers to Sandesh Khali, and of course there's also the Lakshmi Bhandar which Mamata Banerjee also sort of in some ways put in place. But clearly with the BJP rising, it means that people of the state seem to be looking for a change, isn't it? If the numbers hold true, that is.
Asking votes on the basis of what we have done in last 10 years, you know, and I want to ask Shri Narendra Modi ji, if he has been working for last 10 years, he wouldn't be seeking for 45 days of meditation. Actually, this meditation is a sheer kind of media attention, but nevertheless, that's his habit and he will continue doing that. And about this exit poll, of course, you know, when last time, 2021, when Amit Shah was in town, he was, you know, expecting 200 seats from West Bengal assembly seats. But everyone knows how much he got. Now again, the BJP will say, we hum teen the, fir 80 aage. That's a different narrative altogether. You know, but while the BJP is only focusing on the number of seats they have won in Lok Sabha, or they will win in the Lok Sabha, they are conveniently ignoring the dismissal performance in the assembly election across India, not only West Bengal, ma'am. I mean, out of 28 seats of India, BJP has faced a humiliating defeat. West Bengal, Karnataka, Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, Jharkhand, Kerala, Punjab, Tamil Nadu. I mean, if you see, if we leave aside the coalition, the BJP is in power in only 6 states. I mean, that speaks the number. So we are not concerned much about the exit poll. We understand even you guys are under pressure. This is NDTV and other channels as well, but you are doing a good job. So let's see. I mean, with this meditation or media attention, Modi ji will face the exit gate on 4th June, or his meditation will be working there. Let's see.
That's an interesting point that you make there. Pawan Verma as well joins us. From the initial numbers that we have, Pawan, at the moment, what would be the overview? It seems to be comfortably putting the NDA well past 300 mark.
Well, I believe that the NDA will come back to power. I say this because I have no particular bias for the BJP, but at the moment I don't belong to any political party, so I can give an objective assessment. It is a victory, but it is a victory largely by default and some achievements. The achievements, I think, are still the continued popularity, personal popularity of Prime Minister Modi, and I think some degree of genuine success in the policies of welfareism, especially rations, the 5 kilo of rations which have reached 80 crore people and will influence Mahila votes in particular, which have become very important in this election.
Okay.
The con side to this is that, I'll just take a minute more, that it is a positive, not a positive vote for the BJP, but a vote by default. When I say vote by default, I mean that while there is visible and legitimate discontents, when faced with the question, if not Modi, who? The opposition does not appear to be a very attractive proposition.
Right.
And these are parliamentary elections.
Right.
Right.
So therefore, while the brand Modi of Modi ji has declined, his popularity has declined, there is a sense of fatigue also with him. But the opposition has been remarkably ineffectual in channelizing these discontents into a coherent and electorally effective narrative.
Right.
Okay,
So
that's
it's
your big
advantage
takeaway from
BJP and
the exit polls.
Yes.
But we'll have to take a very short break because we'll be going state by state as well in terms of numbers and doing a deep dive and understanding how it plays, including the important state of Andhra Pradesh. Remember, where Vasudha, an assembly election as well.
And remember, these are just exit polls. The final numbers are to come on the 4th of June, so we'll have to wait for that.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best.
Dinner for Modi cabinet. President Draupadi Murmu to host dinner for the outgoing cabinet on the 5th of June. President will host this dinner after the election results are announced. The India bloc holds a critical strategy meet as Lok Sabha elections draw to a close. Sources indicate the focus is on keeping the flock together. Mamata Banerjee is not attending this meeting, citing the cyclone relief work in her state. Arvind Kejriwal's regular bail plea deferred to the 7th of June. In fact, the court has reserved its order on Kejriwal's interim bail. Delhi's CM had sought bail on health grounds, so he'll return to jail tomorrow. In the Pune car crash, team's mother now has been arrested after the grandfather and, of course, the father. NDTV exclusive with the victim's family. Every name involved in the cover-up should be revealed. That's what the family has said.
Get the magic of the best working for you now.
Link your payment cards once, collect rewards forever.
The biggest carnival of democracy, India's general election.
Prime Minister Modi makes a formidable bid for a hat-trick.
The opposition is trying to mount a united challenge.
And the southern parties are standing their ground.
As battle lines are drawn,
Join us on an exciting journey on the road to 2024.
Indian elections, a festival like no other.
And NDTV covers elections like no other.
When India votes,
You can count on us.
मैं सरकार दोबारा बनाने के लिए सरकार नहीं चलाता, मैं देश बनाने के लिए सरकार चलाता हूँ।
बार बार ये विपक्ष का कहना है कि साहब चाइना जो है हमारे यहाँ घुसा है।
रक्षा मंत्री होने के नाते आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूँ, भारत की 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं करने पाएगा।
बैटल फॉर 2024।
केजरीवाल झूठ की दुकान खोल रखी है और झूठे बातें करके लोगों को बरगलाने का काम करता है।
क्या शांतिपूर्ण चुनाव हो रहा है? शुभेंदु अधिकारी कहते हैं तृणमूल जो हिंसक घटना हो रहा है उसके लिए जिम्मेदार है।
इन द लास्ट लैप
काफ़ी बड़ी रैली हुई, सारे ऑपोजिशन लीडर्स उस पर आए थे, तो आपको क्या कहना है, किस तरीके से परफॉर्मेंस रहेगी इंडिया ब्लॉक की?
NDTV has kept you ahead with extensive ground coverage.
शायनी घोष जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस के जादवपुर कंस्टिट्यूएंसी से उम्मीदवार है।
Not just studio noise, but ear to the ground.
फिर से आपके चैनल पर कहना चाहता हूं, हम 400 पार करेंगे और शेयर मार्केट भी बढ़ने वाला है।
Elections is equal to NDTV.
This tip is about WhatsApp. मैंने ऐसा आज तक एक भी इंसान नहीं देखा जो एक स्मार्टफोन यूज करता हो बट WhatsApp यूज ना करता हो। That's how deeply penetrated WhatsApp is. And the tip is just to maintain your privacy over some chats. Now, अगर आपके WhatsApp में there are a few chats जिनको आपको lock करना है, you want to make them private. Now you can use this option of chat lock. This is not something new. ये काफी time से है, but then not many people are aware about this. So if you want to lock any particular chat, आप सीधा उस chat को open करने के बाद में when you go at the options, you can lock this chat so that वो केवल आपके fingerprint या आपके face से या किसी password से ही open हो. Becomes very convenient अगर आप अपना phone किसी को देते हैं and you don't want them to open your WhatsApp and then open a particular chat and then scroll all the way up. मतलब you know the drill. So you can use chat lock अपनी chats को private रखने के लिए.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app.
Welcome back. Our continuing coverage of all the exit polls that are coming in now. Let's focus on the state of Andhra Pradesh. Most polls, at least in terms of parliamentary seats that's being projected, seem to be suggesting a clear win for the TDP, BJP, JSP alliance in that state with 25 parliamentary seats. But it's also a state with 175 assembly seats up for the elections, and my colleague Uma Sudhir tracks that state very closely along with several other states across the southern and the rest of India. Uma, you've got a special panel as well. I want to begin with a focus on Andhra Pradesh because that seems to be very interesting as well in terms of the exit poll numbers coming out.
Thank you, Veera. Yes, indeed, Andhra Pradesh is certainly the more exciting of the two Telugu states for us here, observing these two Telugu states as well. And yes, the poll of polls seems to indicate an 18 number for the TDP plus, as we would call it here, the NDA, and only about 7 to the YSRC, and the Congress that would hope to reopen, should I say, its account in Andhra Pradesh. The bifurcated state they were never able to open the account, and that seems to be getting a 0 as of now. I have with me, yes, as you mentioned, a very special panel. Mohan Guruswamy, who is a policy analyst, political analyst as well. Mr. Ramchandra Rao, who is a senior BJP leader. And I have Balu Pulipaka from the Deccan Chronicle. He's a political editor of the Deccan Chronicle. Mr. Mohan Guruswamy, I'm going to go to you first. This 18 number for the BJP plus, or should I say TDP plus in Andhra Pradesh, no surprise?
Well, it's a surprise to me, because there are several polls in Andhra Pradesh, both are varying wildly. So, I must admit it's a surprise. I think I could conceptualize a half-half as a plausible scenario there. But I don't believe in exit polls. Exit polls are really way off. I'm watching other exit polls here. We show completely different trends, even in UP. One exit poll is showing the Gathbandhan ahead of NDA. So let's wait. There's only 3 more days now. It's all there in the box. The fates have been sealed.
Yes, indeed, excitement. Balu, what about you? Like Mr. Mohan is mentioning, it could be 17 YSRC and people would still say, oh, okay, that happened.
I won't be surprised if people say that happened. I won't be surprised if people say that happened. But the fact is that there's been a lot of resistance, and it's not really surprising to see these numbers right now, the exit poll numbers, giving NDA, TDP alliance 18 or around that, and YSRCP 7. I'm not at all surprised at these numbers. I'll stop there for just for now, but not surprising at all. There was a lot of resistance to YSRCP from whatever I have understood during the campaign, and it's reflecting in the Lok Sabha
And
exit
the coming
polls.
together of these three parties, really, I mean, if the BJP didn't have a presence at all, if you're hoping to get those numbers, at least a couple of them you're hoping will actually come to you from Andhra Pradesh as well, where you have not been, really having a presence on the ground.
Surely, I admit that we don't have that much of presence, but we have presence definitely, because it was our vote share that made the TDP and BJP alliance to come into power in 2014, because the slender margin was there between the YSRCP and the TDP alliance, NDA alliance then. But even now, BJP and TDP and also PRP, with the Jana Sena, we are in alliance now, and definitely their alliance would definitely get more seats than the YSRCP. And moreover, we have the Modi image is also there. People want Modi as third-term Prime Minister. So that will also help, whatever may be the local conditions politically. But as far as the national scene is concerned, the people of Andhra Pradesh, especially Telugu people, would definitely vote for the NDA alliance. And definitely BJP will win more seats and the NDA will have more seats than the YSRCP.
We also have Ravikant Reddy joining us. He's a political editor for the Hindu newspaper. Ravi, the numbers that the NDA seems to be getting in Andhra Pradesh, you think the caste factor is a big factor in Andhra Pradesh when we talk about elections and voting. So does that mean that the Kamma Kapu combination has really worked?
Work with it.
Am I audible now, Uma? Uma, am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead, Ravi.
Yeah. Going by the numbers,
Yes, please go ahead.
Going by the numbers that exit polls threw up, I think definitely the Kamma Kapu combination seems to have worked out. But I still feel you can't rule out YCP because it's a big, strong force in Rayalaseema region, and that is where I think they are going to get most numbers. And like exit polls, they are throwing diverse figures. So as Dr. Mohan Guruswamy said, it's very difficult to gauge sitting here whether these numbers are true or not. But definitely the Kapu-Kamma combination definitely worked this time for the Mahakutami, and BJP also throwing up with their lot, with their weight in several other factors. I think it seems to have worked out for Mahakutami as far as increasing their numbers. But I really can't say these are the real numbers.
Okay, skepticism over what could be the real numbers. Very often we find parliament and assembly elections, when they happen together, people tend to vote on similar lines. YSRCP and Jagan Mohan Reddy have mounted their campaign on that big welfare agenda that he had. So does that mean that paying people, taking care of welfare, doesn't really translate into votes if these numbers really hold?
Well, if these numbers hold good, then of course it's going to stand politics completely on a different footing in this country. Question of welfare politics working is questioned. But I don't think it's going to happen. People are generally grateful for what they get. And even in Telangana, where BRS got defeated, it lost only by 2%. It had 36% to Congress's 38%. So there is a residual base which travels with you. So I don't think Jagan is going to lose hugely. But electoral losses are possible.
Okay. We are also joined by Tejasvi Surya. Mr. Tejasvi, the numbers that seem to show up in Andhra Pradesh, so that is of course good news for the BJP, for the NDA per se, but having no ground presence in Andhra Pradesh, what do you think really worked for the combination? Obviously, Mr. Naidu and Mr. Pawan Kalyan, and of course the Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah, all of them campaigned very extensively.
I think there has been, multiple factors that have influenced our, results in our performance in Andhra Pradesh. One, of course, has been the Prime Minister's growing charisma, growing popularity all across the south of India. If you look at the projected numbers in states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, in every state in south of India, especially also in Karnataka, where the Congress is in power, the BJP is indicating to be performing exceedingly well. So I think the first factor is the Prime Minister's leadership, his charisma, and the delivery of the central government schemes. Second, specifically in Andhra Pradesh, there has been massive anti-incumbency against the Jagan Reddy government the last 10 years. They have been in power the last 10 years, ever since the formation of the state government. And just like how people of Telangana wanted a change and they voted in favor of the Congress party, the people's choice in Andhra Pradesh has been the Prime Minister's leadership and the NDA. And the coming together of Chandrababu Naidu, Pawan Kalyan and the Bharatiya Janata Party, it was a formidable force. We gave a lot of hope to people. It represented change. And I think all of these is what is reflecting in the numbers.
So are you saying in Kerala and Tamil Nadu as well, you're hoping to be able to win seats there?
Absolutely, madam. 100% we are confident. In Telangana, we are going to get to double digits. Though your exit polls may not be showing double digits in Telangana, I am very confident. Even yesterday, late night, I was talking to a lot of our party karyakartas, our MP candidates in Telangana. All of them are confident that BJP will cross double digits in Telangana. In Karnataka, most of the exit polls are showing somewhere around 22, 23 seats. I'm confident that we will at least have 1 or 2 more seats in Karnataka. In
If
both
you're saying
Kerala and
Telangana,
Tamil Nadu,
you're
I'm
going
sure
to get double
the
digits.
BJP
There
will
was
open
a
the seats.
BJP tweet. BJP handle, there was a tweet that suggested that Telangana, you're going to get only 4 to 5 seats. Yesterday.
I don't know which tweet you are speaking about, madam, but I am telling you that in Telangana, the reports that I have, the BJP will do very well. We are going to better our 2019 numbers.
Okay. Mr. Tejasvi is confident that you're going to better your 2019 numbers. Is that the same confidence that you're seeing? Is that the loss of the, the fall in a sense of the BRS that the BJP is really capitalizing on in this election?
Definitely, the people's mood in Telangana appears to be in favor of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And we have seen the vote percent even increase in the assembly elections also. And as far as the BRS is concerned, it has already lost its ground in assembly, and now they are going to totally lose their ground in parliament elections. Perhaps they will end up with 0. And that will be the Bharatiya Janata Party's gain. And we not only hope to gain from the BRS, but we also hope to gain from the Congress base also, because the performance of the Congress party in these 5-6 months, people are not happy. So I think even that vote bank also we will go. That is the reason why we are going to get this number of seats in Telangana.
I just must interject here to say that we had just about half an hour ago, we had an informal interaction with the Congress Chief Minister here, Revant Reddy, and he says he's preparing to get 4 ministries at the center for Telangana, and he's confident of making double digits, and he's thinking that the BJP is going to be back in single digits. Back to you, Veera.
One is confident till the 4th of June, Uma. After the 4th of June, the exit pollsters, politicians, all will put their confidence to test. But we'll see that. Tejasvi Surya is still with us. Before I go back to my panel, Tejasvi, very quickly, the exit poll numbers seem to be a big boost for the BJP as far as Karnataka is concerned. This was considered a crucial state for the Congress to win at least double-digit numbers after many decades. What do you make of the exit poll numbers? I know they are just exit polls still at this stage, but you must be smiling at them.
Veera Raghav, I think, there are 2-3 things that I would draw, as lessons from this, decision of the people of Karnataka, this mood of the people of Karnataka. One, that the collective intelligence of the voter must be respected. The people of this country are very clear between what is a state election and what issues go into a state election, what factors are involved in a state election versus a national election. So people were very clear that they were voting for the country's prime minister, they were voting to elect the country's leader for the next 5 years, and they had a national context to keep in mind. So people have made very clear difference between the assembly electoral choice and the parliamentary electoral choice. This is the first lesson. Second, I think this is also rejection of the Congress party's economic model that the Congress party wanted to, take to all over the country. The Congress party's economic model was a sure shot recipe for economic disaster all over the country. And the Congress has been the laboratory for this the last 1 year. While not a single rupee was spent on capital expenditure, on building infrastructure, while capital expenditure was reduced, recurring expenditure and the money that was spent was only to further the freebies. This was a model that the people of Karnataka have rejected decisively at the national level. I think this is the second thing. The third thing is, again, people of Karnataka have shown that insofar as election of the voting to BJP is concerned, there's a clarity of who is going to be the leader of the country. So if you vote for the BJP, people know that Modi is going to be the Prime Minister. And the Congress party is a confused lot. The India bloc is a confused lot. So they do not know who is going to be the leader for the country. So I think on all of these three counts.
We're sorry, we're really out of time, but thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. And time for a short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
पता नहीं क्रिकेट का फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, पर सीलिंग फैंस का फ्यूचर पता है, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी हियर. ओरिएंट एरोसेंस विद वॉइस कमांड. एलेक्सा, स्विच ऑन द फैन. ओरिएंट BLDC फैन, द फ्यूचर ऑफ फैंस.
दिस इज अ सैमसंग फोन और इसमें एंड्रॉयड है. यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड, सबसे पहले अगर हम जाएं थोड़ा सा पीछे, अगर हम रिवाइंड करें अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ एंड्रॉयड. वेल गाइज, द क्रिएटर्स ऑफ एंड्रॉयड जब उन्होंने बना लिया ये ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, दे वेंट टू सैमसंग बिकॉज दे वांटेड कि सैमसंग उस एंड्रॉयड को खरीद ले. So they all went to Seoul in South Korea. They met with the Samsung people, but Samsung was not that impressed. And Samsung said no. और उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Just weeks later, Google in fact bought Android for $50 million. Imagine करो, अगर Samsung ने उस टाइम पे Android खरीद लिया होता, would have been the case that Android would have been Samsung's own exclusive operating system. Like today we see how Samsung is the king of Android. They basically rule the Android market. But वो एक ना आज कैसे मोबाइल हिस्ट्री को पूरा बदल चुकी है. It's all for you. Did you know this? If yes, then amazing. If no, then please let me know by writing all your emails to tg@ndtv.com. ओके सो दोस्तों, अभी जो सेक्शन आ गया है, यू ऑल नो इट्स माय पर्सनल फेवरेट बिकॉज यहाँ पे मैं जवाब देता हूँ ऑल द क्वेश्चंस जो आपने पूछे होते हैं उन सभी के. द सेक्शन इज नोन एज आस्क टीजी. लेट्स सी व्हाट वी हैव दिस वीक और क्या क्या अलग अलग सवाल हमको मिले हैं रिगार्डिंग अलग अलग गैजेट्स.
मैं अपनी बिटिया के लिए एक फ़ोन लेना चाह रहा हूँ. उसको फोटोग्राफी का अच्छा शौक है और साथ में उसकी पढ़ाई के भी काम आएगा. तो 25,000 तक कोई बढ़िया सा मोबाइल सजेस्ट कीजिए.
Okay, I'll just give you one recommendation for your daughter. If the budget is rupees 25,000, I strongly recommend that you get her the one.
Welcome back. All exit polls seem to be showing a comfortable majority for the NDA, and with us we have this esteemed panel of guests. We're going to get closing remarks from all of them. Manisha ji, most surprising for me is Uttar Pradesh, because most of the surveys that I have on my laptop seem to be saying that the BJP could be improving its tally of 62 seats that it won in 2019. So what
The most surprising for me still remains the southern citadel for the Congress, the state of Karnataka. The state of Karnataka that had just about voted the Congress very comfortably into power, and it was believed would write the script for the resurgence of the Congress party, really coming down to the margins of the Lok Sabha elections. So I think I'm very surprised by Karnataka.
Amitabh, you are the state that shocks you the most in this.
No, I would say that as a concept, what shocks me the most is that the elections are not fought on social media. It is ultimately fought on the ground. And if you don't have soldiers on the ground, you will not be able to convert any mahal in votes in your favor. So that's what the message, what the exit polls are showing.
Shugata.
I mean, I agree with him. Social media is not social base. I think that's the thing that comes out from this. Congress was very, very aggressive on social media, but social media is not the social base.
Because there are ifs, you can't have shocks. You see? So, because the if always allows you to deal with the shock. I think the overall numbers seem to suggest the range that we have been talking of on NDTV is more or less correct. That's, I think, one point. On Karnataka, I think once again the Karnataka voter focusing on Lok Sabha and not the state is what this result which we are having in our exit poll shows. Yeah. But again, a big if there, going by what Manisha ji also said. We thought there was some movement going on in Karnataka, but if the exit poll is right, I think
right. Let's also not forget state like Kerala, where some of the exit polls are saying 0 to 3 for the BJP. Now, that could be a shocker. State of Tamil Nadu, where the exit polls are suggesting 2 to 4, some of them for the NDA. So all of them could be extremely interesting.
I think the predictability of the election, the predictability of this election that we thought before the Pran Pratishtha ceremony and after that remains some ways very similar to what we are seeing right now.
Well, that's all we have time for on this, but Rishika Barua is up next along with Vasudha to take you through more of these exit polls and the poll of polls that we are putting up here.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Farewell dinner for the Modi cabinet. President of India, Draupadi Murmu, to host dinner for the outgoing Modi cabinet on the 5th of June. President will host this dinner after election results are announced. India bloc holds a crucial strategy meeting at the residence of Mallikarjun Kharge. This is after Lok Sabha elections draw to a close. Sources indicate that this meeting is to ensure that the parties put out a face of unity. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's bail plea has been deferred to the 7th of June. Court, in fact, has reserved its order on Kejriwal's interim bail. The Delhi Chief Minister had sought bail on health grounds. In the Pune car crash case, teen's mother has been arrested now after the juvenile's father and grandfather. NDTV exclusive with the victim's family. In fact, the family has said that every name involved in the cover-up needs to be revealed.
पता नहीं क्रिकेट का फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, पर सीलिंग फैंस का फ्यूचर पता है, because it's already here. Orient AeroSense with voice command. Alexa, switch on the fan. Orient BLDC fan, the future of fans.
In the heat and dust of politics, perspective should not get lost. Watch me decipher hard politics through an academic lens, only on NDTV.
Elections in India enter the crucial slog overs. We at NDTV decided to take another train journey.
400 पार हो जाएगा तो फिर हमको लग रहा है भाजपा ही बंगाल को सुधार सकता है।
इस बार चुनाव में विकास मेन मुद्दा है।
मेरे को लगता है कि अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एक इशू है
कि टीएमसी वहाँ पे जो अत्याचार शुरू कर दिए, जैसे सीपीएम किया था उसी तरह, क्योंकि उसी का ही कैडर है, उसी का ही सब कुछ है।
विश्वास है, हम तो चाहते हैं फिर मोदी जी आए।
दिस इज अ सैमसंग फोन और इसमें एंड्रॉयड है। यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड, सबसे पहले अगर हम जाएं थोड़ा सा पीछे, अगर हम रिवाइंड करें अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ एंड्रॉयड। वेल गाइज, द क्रिएटर्स ऑफ एंड्रॉयड जब उन्होंने बना लिया ये ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम, दे वेंट टू सैमसंग बिकॉज दे वांटेड कि सैमसंग उस एंड्रॉयड को खरीद ले। So they all went to Seoul in South Korea. They met with the Samsung people, but Samsung was not that impressed, and Samsung said no. और उसके बाद क्या हुआ? Just weeks later.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Welcome, you're watching NDTV 24/7. Vasudha and I are going to get you the key takeaways as far as the poll of polls is concerned. It is a Narendra Modi hat-trick if the exit polls are to be believed, though 400 par, Vasudha, remains a pipe dream.
It's another win for the party, and of course Narendra Modi has led from the front, and if the exit polls, Rishika, are to be believed, there probably was no contest. The predictability of this whole election was after the Pran Pratishtha ceremony that people felt there was no contest, but of course in the last 3 months the Janta and the opposition tried to sort of do a lot of things, but of course the numbers are here, but these are exit poll numbers. We'll have to wait for the final numbers on the 4th of June.
Lots of health warnings, but Vasudha, we have in-house expert Sanjay ji joining us in the studios. NDTV's Sanjay Pugalia, thanks very much for being with us. We've had to drag you from NDTV India and get you onto 24/7. So we want to begin.
Not only me, Sanjay
Yes, we also have other wonderful guests. Aarti Jaida joining us, political social analyst, and Sanjay Kumar, CSDS, somebody who has helped us understand so many data-related points. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Pugalia, Sanjay ji, you have done 2 wonderful interviews, and tell us, right from the beginning you kept telling us that there's no contest. So I would want you to elaborate on this. Was there no contest right from the beginning?
The biggest weakness we all have is to say, I told you so. So when we began coverage of this election, I did begin by saying that this is the most historic election, but most boring because it is too predictable. And that's what exit poll numbers are again showing. In between, there was some noise, some conversations in certain echo chambers and bubbles. Nothing has worked out the way they thought, and we tried to discuss that is something changing, has something changed, is there a wave, is there an undercurrent, is there a dissonance, are we getting the public mood wrong? I think everything has been proven wrong. It was expected that BJP will do well, only because opposition could not really put up a good fight. They definitely put up a good fight on social media, and they have won hands down there. But this big democratic exercise that we were hoping that opposition shall perform, it has not performed. And BJP again is seems to be getting very, very strong endorsement by the electorate.
Absolutely. Sanjay, but there's been a lot of talk about Ram Ration representation. You know, these are the 3 biggest tools that the BJP has had, and this I would want Sanjay Kumar to also talk about, because UP results, the exit polls seem to say that BJP could be improving its tally of 62 seats of 2019. So, Mr. Pugalia, do you think this UP thing that people kept talking about, that the PDA will work at some point, Purvanchal will twist, maybe that really didn't work probably if the exit polls are to be true?
Yeah, Akhilesh could never capture the imagination. That was the biggest weakness of UP. Congress is a non-player in the whole state. And Mayawati went solo. We will have to actually see on 4th what happens, what is the vote share of Mayawati, and that will tell us a bigger story, how our state UP and how our society is thinking and what are they thinking. But yeah, UP because of the combination of factors was always very favorable for BJP, and that's what these exit poll numbers are also showing, that they are going to do pretty well.
Yes,
right. But if you look at the poll of exit polls, it's looking at Uttar Pradesh very interestingly, because I think the highest number as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned is being given by the Republic poll, which is pitting it at around 69 to 74. Many would say that they would have hoped to do better.
I will skip this answer and we will bother Sanjay ji with this.
And Sanjay ji,
how do you look at it?
Yes, Mr. Kumar, they're also saying that, BSP may not win even a single seat. Last time the party won almost 10 seats. So clearly that was exceptional.
No, I think it's very difficult to compare 2019 and 2024 with regard to UP, because in 2019 election there was an alliance of Samajwadi Party and the BSP. This time BSP is contesting election separately alone. So last time BSP had won 10 seats. The BSP seemed to be performing very badly. I don't think there is any disagreement about that. Everybody saw that performing very badly right from the beginning. So BSP, the indication is that BSP is not picking up any seat from UP. I am not surprised about that, but I would be surprised to see if BJP is reaching anywhere close to 69 or 70, which some of the polls are indicating. My own sense was that BJP may not be able to increase the tally in UP. That was my sense. But at this moment, we have no choice but to at least go along with most of the exit poll, because most of the exit poll indicates BJP is improving the tally in UP.
Aarti Chairat, a lot of us did talk about the language that was used in the elections, the discourse, a lot of it was centered around reservation. Reservation became so important, the sanctity of the constitution, democracy. But really, people seem to be voting on very different lines, or what is it that you think?
Well, let's, sort of put the health warnings that these are exit polls.
Yes.
But yes, there was this buzz that the opposition had managed to create a fear particularly amongst Dalits, about the constitution being changed, the reservation policy being scrapped, and so on and so forth. So, if these numbers are correct, clearly that strategy did not work. And, Dalits have voted, maybe this whole thing of Modi or a sense of nationalism, this whole caste divide and so on that we kept talking about in UP, that, Akhilesh tried some new experiments and, with caste and so on. And, maybe all that didn't work and it did not materialize. And, just like in 2019, there was a kind of overall nationalist, feeling which drove people to, to vote the way they did. Maybe this time also there was that nationalist feeling, which was centered in Modi, in the whole image of, brand Modi. And, people have voted for that.
Right. I want to just, I know the Uttar Pradesh numbers have just come in and, everyone's sort of obsessing about Uttar Pradesh. But I think one of the most interesting aspects, at least as far as these exit polls, Sanjay Pugalia, if you'd agree with me or not, is going to be Bengal. The fact that it was always neck and neck, even if you look at the vote share in 2019. And right now, what we are seeing as per the data that's coming in with a lot of health warnings is that the BJP is ahead of the TMC according to 3 polls.
Wow. Yeah, that was the sense anecdotally also everyone got, and the people we spoke to were saying the same thing, that BJP will maintain or actually improve the tally. They fought very well as far as TMC is concerned, but the ability to get your supporter to the booth and convert into vote is much sharper with BJP compared to other parties, even though TMC is pretty cadre-led party. But still, I think West Bengal is a kind of undergoing through a significant change, and that is what exit poll numbers are reflecting.
But if you look at Karnataka,
but look at this, still it is neck to neck.
Yeah, it is neck to neck. That's what I said. Yes.
But Karnataka seems to be a different story altogether, because that was the laboratory of the opposition's welfare. You had Congress guarantees, you had Siddaramaia's guarantees, free bus travel for women. You had this whole Lakshmi Yojana, where Mahalakshmi Yojana, where every woman gets about 1,000 rupees. But the numbers, exit poll numbers, are presenting BJP in a very good spot. They're saying that the BJP could be retaining its 23 to 22 seats. The Congress could be making gains, but just about 4 to 5 seats, whereas Congress was hoping for much more.
So if these numbers are correct, I think there is another history being made here, which is that BJP has always done very, very well in all Lok Sabha elections of the past many decades. So that is one point. We also thought that because Congress had just won the state, BJP may lose a few seats. But that may not be happening only because outside Gujarat, the Modi premium vote is highest in Karnataka.
Yeah. Professor Kumar, would you like to respond to that? The Karnataka result, the exit poll
Yes,
results.
actually, if you could just look at it in terms of a larger picture, Vasudha, because if you look at the 129 seats in the south, and you look at how the BJP performed in 2019, it was 29 out of 129 in 2019. Given the fact that the BJP is now opening its account in 3 states, do you think that this very concerted south-focused strategy of the Prime Minister has actually paid in rich dividends, or do you think that this is again with a lot of health warnings right now and you see the situation on the ground to be very
No, I don't think I would put a lot of health warnings on these estimates.
Okay.
I think right from the beginning there was a sense that BJP is making a lot of effort to make inroads in the southern state. And except for Karnataka, where there were opinions, or I think shared belief that in Karnataka BJP would be losing. The exit poll indicate that they are not losing much in Karnataka. If they are losing only by a couple of seats. But except for Karnataka, I think there was a shared view that BJP will improve its tally in Andhra, Telangana, if not tally, but at least the vote share in Tamil Nadu and in Kerala. I think all the exit polls are indicating that BJP is expanding its footprint in all the southern states. We still don't know whether BJP will be losing in Karnataka compared to 2019 or BJP is improving. Improving very difficult because BJP had won 25 seats last time and this time they are contesting only 25.
Vasudha, I want you to come in here because Vasudha covers the party and you've of course reported on this very extensively that this was all part of the plan. I mean, these numbers that we are seeing right now shouldn't surprise those within the BJP because this is perhaps what they've been working towards. It was a very concerted strategy as far as the party is concerned.
Absolutely, and they were very confident right from the beginning because they knew that Modi guarantee works.
Yes.
And in some ways I also feel, and I'd like to ask this question to Aarti Jairath, in some ways you also feel that the BJP got the socio-political context of south of India right this time, because I know that the vote share might increase, they may not really get that many seats, but they're finally doing the Sengol outreach. The Prime Minister is going to Tiruvallur, he's presenting himself in a veshti in the right way. It's not really offensive to a Tamilian. So do you think that is something that he has gotten it right?
No, and particularly as far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, he drew a lot of linkages with Kashi.
Yeah.
They did that whole Tamil Samagam and, there were sort of trips going back and forth, exchange of food festivals and, sort of literary festivals and so on. So, I mean, he made a very, very concerted outreach to Tamil Nadu. And, so the way the BJP works is very interesting. It has been focusing on the East since the last elections. And this time, in this elections, it's paying them dividends. At least that's what the exit polls suggest. It started focusing on, the South only recently. And so this time, I mean, apart from Karnataka, which has been their thing, but this time they may not get those dividends. But, the BJP looks ahead. They always plan ahead.
Right.
So, the next time around, they may get those dividends that they're looking for.
Right.
Because, again, the whole political situation in Tamil Nadu is so fluid. AIDMK is dying. DMK is, will obviously they can't be a vacuum forever. Another party has to come in and the BJP seems to be the up and coming party over there.
Okay.
So, these are all plans for the future because the BJP thinks ahead.
Right.
It doesn't think only for today. It thinks for tomorrow and even for day after.
Right. Sanjay, also one question. What are if the numbers are to stand true, what would be your advice to the opposition? Because clearly there are things that the opposition has gotten wrong. Do you think that they could have started their campaign much earlier? Do you think that the seat sharing arrangement could have been reflected, maybe in January or maybe in December?
And what do you think is the biggest disappointment? I mean, we are seeing these numbers.
No, just to add, whom do you expect him to advise? Because opposition is not just one party, there are multiple parties. And as you know, that two parties are fighting against each other in one state, but they form an alliance in the other state. So it's very difficult for anyone to give an advice.
So let's say
but Sanjay ji
what would you look at as the biggest disappointment?
So Sanjay ji can
you all have made things very complex for me. I will try to answer by saying that in Delhi, Vasudha, and pardon me for saying that, we have this very bad habit of advising opposition all the time for free. I shall not do that.
Yes.
But one thing I want to say here. BJP by its strategy and opposition led by Congress by its stupidity misled themselves to social media environment, and they thought there is a fight building up. They have misled themselves to such a fatal level which is unbelievable. The biggest villain in the piece, of course, is Congress party because it was the leader. It did not handle the India alliance story well.
Yeah.
They could have done better. When you were supposed to distribute ticket and work on constituencies, you were doing your yatras in a very complex words which people did not, even Congress supporters could not understand. Now it is time for opposition and Congress party learning, you are asking about learning, to think and imagine new ways how to say Jai Ram Ji to the old style of working of opposition party.
Okay, okay. And some of the complex ideas like wealth redistribution, do you think some of those things could have been avoided? Because at the end of the day, you know, it's an election for the masses. And these ideas could also be open to interpretation, which means people might get misled.
Opposition led by Congress party does not have the ability to understand the change that India is going through. They are stuck in an old time warp. They are not able to connect with the people, and they are not able to get that language right. That is the problem. These are very old, rear view mirror ideas, and they are not able to understand how Mr. Modi is working. If you want me to conclude on this point, I want to say what was the biggest story of this election?
Yes.
The one word is aspiration, on which BJP worked. Modi-led BJP worked very effectively, and Congress just did not get that.
Right.
Their entire language was of anguish and grievance, not of hope and aspiration.
Right. Thank you.
All right. We also have GVL Narasimha Rao joining us. Clyde Castro is also with us, and Shri S. Gurumurthy. Yes, also joining us. You know, let's just shift our focus to Maharashtra for a bit, Vasudha, because this is, I think, going to be perhaps one of the most fascinating contests to watch out for. I think nobody is really sticking their neck out and saying much, but the numbers are very interesting. Again, predicting an advantage to the NDA, but a neck-and-neck fight. GVL Narasimha Rao, how are you looking at the numbers specifically in Maharashtra? You're a numbers man, so before we get you on the overall picture, just Maharashtra in particular, because the NDA is nowhere near the position of strength it was in last time around. How do you look at this entire rainbow of parties and the politics in Maharashtra playing out? Do you think that these numbers are still too hard to predict?
Good evening to you and all the panelists. I haven't been able to see the numbers, Maharashtra numbers on your screen. So I think I'll benefit if you can just tell me the numbers, your predictions as to who's taking these predictions. As I see, another comment is I see vast differences in state level projections by across different channels or different agencies. But what's the number that you are picking up? If you give me that, I'll certainly give you.
We have a poll of polls, sir, as you're aware. Out of the 48, out of the 48 seats, I mean, most of them are predicting between 22 to 26. As far as the NDA is concerned, some even going to say 23 to 25 as far as India is concerned. Some, of course, predicting 34 for NDA, 13 for India. So the numbers are very dynamic and very, very diverse, Vasudha. If you just look at the Maharashtra set, it's very, very interesting.
Okay. See, certainly repeating the last performance might be somewhat tougher.
Yes.
But what we are very hopeful for is to retain most of the strength, certainly touch a number like 40. Reason I tell you, because these are Lok Sabha elections. Certainly a closer contest might become a reality going forward in assembly poll.
Okay.
Where people will vote based on local issues.
Right.
Here, the only issue in this election, the only issue, man in contest is Prime Minister Modi ji.
Right.
I think, therefore, it does not matter when people are voting for BJP or for Shiv Sena candidates or for NCP candidates. They certainly see them as representatives of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Right, absolutely,
so therefore,
sir.
we don't expect any significant dent in our strength. Certainly, we will have a very big tally from Maharashtra as well. And certainly, I do foresee a challenge going forward in assembly polls. But as far as parliament is concerned, I think we are very, very pretty and comfortable, and we'll get a substantial
To you,
tally.
Gurumurthy sir, let's talk about my home state, Tamil Nadu. At least 4 surveys are saying that the BJP could be winning up to 0 to 2 seats. And thank you so much, Mr. Gurumurthy, for being on NDTV. And we heard your thoughts before the elections. From OPS to Rajnikant to Sengol, the BJP has made every outreach to Tamilians. Finally, is that clicking, and is the discussion going beyond vote share to actual seats?
In fact, when I spoke to you last time, I said what is more important for the BJP or for any nationalist party in Tamil Nadu is not the number of seats, but the percentage of votes. For example, the Congress may get even 7, 8, 10%, 10 seats now because they are contesting 7, they will win the major part of it. But that's not going to help the Congress to build itself in Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu had an anti-God, anti-Hindu, anti-North, anti-Hindi politics running for the last 40, 50 years. And the society has changed. The society has become godly. If there is any state which is most godly and worshipping different gods and deities, and temples are full of crowds and going back to the traditional methods of worship which the entire Dravidian folks hated, it is Tamil Nadu. So the society has changed. The politics has not changed. That is where the BJP has got an entry point, that the ecosystem is ideal for the BJP to enter. And it is good that the BJP did not strike an alliance with the ADMK. Because if it had struck, it would be in the same position as the Congress is to the DMK. And the BJP would not have been able to show its own advancement in terms of occupying the nationalist vote space, which has gone into the ADMK. Actually, the rise of the BJP will affect the ADMK more than the DMK, because the anti-DMK votes constitute essentially the nationalist votes which the Congress lost. And the BJP is now entering to recover it. So I always felt that this is some kind of a semi-final for the BJP. If it crosses 15 to 16% vote share, it would make a huge difference to Tamil Nadu politics.
But Gurumurthy sir,
regardless of the number of seats.
Yes. So the DMK seems to be still in its 30s, winning about 34 seats is what exit polls are predicting, which means that there is a certain voter base which, probably if not Periyar, but still understands the Stalin way of giving out welfareism, be it free transport for women. So that Dravidian model seems to be still working in some aspects, isn't it? So it will probably take you more time, take BJP more time to get there, isn't it?
I disagree. There is a Dravidian model working. It's only a name plate.
Okay.
Tamil Nadu has got de-Dravidianized long back. The rise of M.G. Ramachandran and Jayalalitha signaled the decline of the Dravidian ideology. It is not ideology. It is that you need two parties to compete, and that is how the DMK and ADMK have been competing. The moment DMK aligned with the Congress, it lost its Dravidian bite. So to say that there is some Dravidian model, Dravidian ideology functioning, it is only to take some label and show that we are different. It's not. DMK, like any other party, has to offer freebies, has to offer something to the people. No ideology to offer. The ideological bite is not there. So the field is open with no tall leader on either side, with no ideological bite between the nationalist forces and the regional parties. So the BJP now finds it advantageous to enter, and I compared the 1989 polls when Rajiv Gandhi made a huge attempt when the ADMK got divided to enter Tamil Nadu, and he secured almost 19 to 20% votes. But it could not be sustained later, as the Congress and the BJP had to ally with one of the two Dravidian parties. And so the nationalist space remained unoccupied and surrendered to the ADMK. And now I think, by force of circumstances, by the ADMK discarding the BJP fortuitously got this opportunity
Right.
And I think if the BJP vote share is 15, 16, 17%, it is in that range that is being estimated, it would be a break point for not only BJP but also for nationalist politics and the decline of the Dravidian politics.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Gurumurthy, for joining us. Quick question to Clyde Castro. You know, the numbers that exit polls show of Maharashtra seem very interesting. I remember talking to you last time and you seemed to say that Sharad Pawar-led NCP will do well, but clearly the split seems to have not really worked, at least when you go by the exit poll numbers. What are your expectations?
Well, Vasudha, you mentioned that, I did speak about this before, and if you remember me telling you this, that if BJP was alone in Maharashtra, they would have done much better, but they are going to, find it difficult to wash the sins of the Eknath Shinde group and the Ajit Pawar group, and the exit polls seem to show that, because, it's like the India Alliance is getting about 23 to 25 seats, and the NDA is getting, the equal number. So the point here is very simple, that what Bharatiya Janata Party tried to do in Maharashtra has backfired. What Devendra Fadnavis said, that he went out in disguise in the middle of the night trying to break the Shiv Sena, then he broke the NCP, that was our original party, and I think it has backfired on them, because we went to the people and spoke to them about the kind of work that we did, and all the time the Bharatiya Janata Party went to the people saying that everybody is corrupt in the NCP, everybody is corrupt in the original Shiv Sena. I'll give you a simple example. Where I live in South Mumbai, the candidate here from the Eknath Shinde camp was accused of a 1,000 crore scam by Bharatiya Janata Party's leader Kirit Somaiya. He gave us a lot of food in this whole election, because all we had to do and go out and ask the people, are you going to vote for somebody who's been accused of a 1,000 crore scam by a BJP leader himself? So things like these that happen around Maharashtra is backfiring on the Bharatiya Janata Party and the group that they've got together, the NDA here. And that's why you see the numbers that are going down here. And we have done exceptionally well. According to the exit polls, I still believe that we are going to do a couple of seats more. And, we can say that overall the picture is going to be different. But like I said, we went to the people with the kind of work we did. We have an 84-year-old man.
We're running short of time. We also have Pawan Kheda joining us, the Chairman, Media and Publicity. Thank you, Mr. Kheda, for speaking to NDTV. First of all, the question everybody wants to ask you, what made you change your mind, and what made the Congress persons actually take part in exit poll discussions today?
Welcome to NDTV, and thank you for being here as well.
Thank you, both of you. It's a good question, and that's the Gathbandhan Dharma that we believe in. Our India Alliance partners persuaded us, and we agreed with them. And then we analyzed individually, all parties got their data on the table. We analyzed our data and we call it the Janta Ka poll. We don't, we'll compete with the Sarkari poll. So let the Sarkari pollsters be happy and rejoice today, and we'll be celebrating on the 4th of June. So our numbers are 295 minimum for our alliance. We are very confident of a victory. And as I said, on the 4th of June, we'll meet again, we'll celebrate.
Okay, but how do you look at the exit polls then? Because the exit polls and your numbers don't come together by a mile.
Well, I don't know if you were around in 2004. I'm sure you were around. 2004, this is a repeat of 2004, when all exit pollsters gave BJP a decisive edge, and there was a cabinet formation in front of Advaniji's house. The lists were ready. People had gotten their clothes stitched and so on and so forth. What happened in 2004? We won. And this time around, there is no, Mr. Pramod Mahajan is not here, late Mr. Pramod Mahajan, but these two leaders from Gujarat, who are now on their way back to Gujarat on the 4th of June, are there, and people are really afraid of them, much more afraid of them than they were of Mr. Pramod Mahajan. I'm just trying to recall the history of 2004.
Okay. But Pawan, if the numbers were to hold true, would you agree that the Congress could have started its campaign earlier? Could there have been better alliance cohesion amongst partners? Do you think some things could have worked upon?
Even after the 4th of June, when we win this election, we'll analyze what could have been done better. That's the way we should be always in life. Whether we win or lose is not the issue. We should always analyze our performance and try and better it.
Be that as it may, like I said, your numbers and what the pollsters, what the psephologists are saying aren't reconciled by a mile. Where do you think they've got it horribly wrong, and where do you think you've got it absolutely right?
Well, they got it from somewhere. We all know from where. If they had actually gotten it from the ground.
No,
then
I
I'm
mean
also the
geographically.
big
I mean geographically.
And Pawan, 40 exit polls can't be completely wrong, and they couldn't have gotten
Well,
it from one place,
geographically
isn't
also
it?
they got it from a particular address in Delhi.
No, but 40 exit polls can't get from the same place.
Geographically, my question is purely academic because, like I said, these numbers, I mean, your numbers and the exit poll numbers, poll of polls, and we don't do our own polls, so we're only saying what pollsters are saying. Where do you think they've got it horribly wrong and you've got it absolutely
And many
right?
of them have predicted victories for you in assembly elections, and they've been proved right.
Yes.
Listen, this is the stakes for Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah are very, very high in a Lok Sabha election. So geographically, academically, theoretically, politically, emotionally, financially, every which way, this data comes from a particular address in Delhi.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll know on the 4th that it's not going to be it's not too far. So we will know whether you've got it absolutely right and all the pollsters have got it horribly wrong. I'm told that we do have some political reactions as well that are coming in, Vasudha. So let's just quickly listen into those.
एग्जिट पोल में सभी एजेंसियों का जो सर्वे आ रहा है, सभी में एनडीए को 350 सीट के आसपास सीटें मिलेगी, ऐसा एक पॉजिटिव सर्वे आ रहा है एग्जिट पोल में। तो यही होने वाला था कि फिर से तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी बनेंगे और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ बाकी अलायंस जो एनडीए की पार्टी है वो बहुमत प्राप्त करेगी और एनडीए की सरकार बनेगी। देखिए, कांग्रेस पहले से ही जानती है और इसलिए वो एग्जिट पोल का उन्होंने बहिष्कार किया है। एग्जिट पोल को मानते ही नहीं है और चुनाव के नतीजे आएंगे फिर ईवीएम को भी नहीं मानेंगे।
जनता ने भी एक एग्जिट पोल किया और उसका आंकड़ा 295 इंडिया के फेवर में आ रहा है। ये साइंटिफिक तरीके से जो हमारी मीटिंग यहाँ पर चली, हमारा हर एलआई वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट था, उन्होंने आंकड़े लिखकर कौन कौन सी सीट है, कितनी मार्जिन से भी जीत सकते हैं, इस पर भी चर्चा हुई। तो मेरा अपना मानना है कि सब घटक दलों के नेता यहाँ पर थे, शीर्ष नेतृत्व के लोग थे, उन लोगों ने उस पर चर्चा करी। बड़ा साइंटिफिक तरीके से हम लोगों को अंदाजा है कि हम कितनी सीटें जीत रहे हैं। 295 से एक सीट कम नहीं होगी, ये वृहद परिवार अभी बढ़ेगा ही। और
Okay, going to you, Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao. Sir, how do you predict at least the party, BJP's performance in Telangana? Because BJP did, extremely well, not extremely well, but did slightly well in the assembly polls. It was expected to do much better, but clearly exit polls are saying that BJP and Congress could have equal number of seats, maybe 7, 8 or 8, 9. So that's very good improvement for the party.
Yeah, certainly, because from winning 8 assembly seats 4 months ago to winning 8+ Lok Sabha seats. I know that if you see the poll of polls is giving us 8 or somewhere around 8 or 9 seats. We are confident of winning actually a double digit. But I think I haven't seen on the screen. What is your poll of polls showing? About 8 or so? So 8 assembly seats to 8 parliament seats is like a huge 7 times improvement in terms of seats tally, because one parliament is equals 7 assembly seats. We have seen such a geographic jump, a progression, even in the last round. In the last 2018 assembly polls, we won 1 assembly and 4 parliamentary seats. Right. We are certainly confident of doing even better than the Congress, which won the mandate in 2023. But today it has become a direct contest, like one of those BJP Congress states like Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. So we are confident of actually winning a double-digit tally. But even if we win 8 or 9, it will still be a big gain for the BJP.
Right. Professor Sanjay Kumar, what do you think is working for the BJP? Aarti Jairath, would you like to talk about Telangana? Because what do you think is working for the BJP? Because clearly, the party seems to be increasing not just its vote share from 4 seats in 2019 to 8 assembly seats, and now exit polls are predicting that the party could be winning 9 seats. 9. And does Revanth Reddy, a figure or personality like Revanth Reddy, actually, is he a threat to the BJP in Telangana, or is he actually not?
So I think the expectation was that the BJP would do well in Telangana. Although the Congress rules the state and did very well in the, in the assembly polls, but in a national poll, the figure of Modi comes in. And Modi, apparently what I've heard is he has a pretty strong following in Telangana. And you know what has really happened is that Telangana, because of the collapse of the BRS, has become a two-party state. So it's Congress versus BJP.
Yes.
And I mean, although Revanth Reddy has been pretty dynamic, and he's been popular, and he did lead the Congress to victory in the assembly elections. But in a national election, I think Modi trumps.
Yeah. Right.
And I think that is what seems to be working. But still, I mean, the BJP still has a long way to go before it can really capture the state.
Professor Sanjay Kumar, do you agree with that? Do you think that's the kind of story that's played out, at least as far as the exit polls are concerned? Both Telangana and Karnataka, we're not seeing the Congress really capitalize on the fact that they did so well in the state elections.
I think one factor which is key to the success of BJP, we don't know exactly where would BJP stop. We would get to know only on the 4th. But it is clear that BJP is doing very well in these elections as well. So one trump card for BJP is Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And the big disadvantage for the opposition is who is going to be the Prime Minister. I don't think that this election turned out between a contest between Modi and who is going to be the Prime Minister. But when people go out to vote on the election day, I think this looms very large on their mind, that they are electing a national government, they are voting to elect a national government. So who is going to be the Prime Minister, who is going to lead the country, must be there on the back of the mind of the people. In many states, including Telangana and Karnataka, the two states which we are discussing at this moment.
Right, sir. Right. Also, I want to ask you about Kerala, because one of the other key takeaways as far as these exit polls are concerned, again with a lot of health warnings, is the rout of the left. And do you think that advantage BJP means that in a certain sense, at least as far as Kerala is concerned, or even if you look at what's happening in West Bengal for that matter?
Well, I don't think that if we see in Kerala left being routed out, maybe it's one factor, maybe that the state government is led by the left party. So there must be some anti-incumbency against the left. Plus, this is the national election, and clearly in the minds of the large number of voters is that whether it is the Congress or the BJP which can lead the national government. So I think the scales are tilted in favor of Congress in Kerala. But if you look at the West Bengal, left doesn't seem to be doing well, Congress doesn't seem to be doing well. But it's a direct contest between Trinamool Congress and BJP. And most of the exit poll indicates that BJP is increasing its tally. Still remains a direct contest between Trinamool Congress and BJP. But I think BJP seems to have an advantage. Again, the same factor. Because for a very large number of people, they have this in their mind, that this is for the national election. And that sometimes trumps even if they wanted to vote for the regional party.
I think there was this general speculation that the allies of NDA did not perform well, but if you go by the exit poll numbers, TDP seems to have done well. Even the Maharashtra allies seem to have done okay. And then, of course, JDU is the only exception here, but everywhere JDS seems to have done well. So do you think that really worked, the alliances for the BJP also?
So have we got full breakup, because I mean, mostly people are giving NDA figures. And we don't seem to have the breakup between the BJP and, what its allies have got. So it's very difficult actually to, sort of talk about the performance of the allies unless we get that breakup and get a state-wise breakup. But, I mean, if the Andhra figures are correct, yes, clearly, because the BJP was contesting very few seats in Andhra, and, I think just 5 or 6 seats, and the rest were being contested by TDP. And if they're doing well in that state, I mean, clearly the TDP they're riding on the back of the TDP to win. Maharashtra figures, again, are very, very variable, as you see. They're going all over the place.
That's true.
And, I really don't know on the basis of these figures what kind of analysis one can do at this point. So I think for that, we should wait till the 4th of
Professor Kumar,
June.
what about Maharashtra, sir?
Before Maharashtra, I think I wanted to focus on Bihar, because most of the exit polls also indicate that NDA is not losing as much as many people expected. So if BJP is only contesting 17 states in Bihar, and if there is an estimate that NDA is winning roughly say 30, 32, 33 seats, then there is an indication that yes, allies are not doing as well as they had done in 2019, because remember in 2019, NDA has won 39 out of 40. But still, there is an indication that the alliance partner of BJP is not doing so badly as the narrative was building during the campaign.
Okay.
Maharashtra, I think there is a clear indication that BJP allies are not performing as well as BJP has performed. Now the question is how badly NDA alliance has, BJP alliance have performed. I think that for that we need to wait for some time.
Okay, I'm told, Vasudha, that we're almost out of time. So before we slip into a short break, how do you look at the exit polls overall, both of you? I mean, do you think the exit polls are perhaps close to the sense that you've gotten on the ground? Do you think the numbers perhaps could be a bit exaggerated? Because like we've been saying from the very outset, these come with a lot of
No, but when you
warnings.
say exaggerated, for whom? Definitely.
Both sides. Do you think the losses are exaggerated and the gains are exaggerated?
To be very frank, my own sense is that BJP or NDA is not, or my own sense was that BJP will not be heading for such a big victory.
Okay.
NDA will not be heading for such a big victory.
Okay, so you are putting your money on exaggeration at one level.
But I have been consistent on one aspect, that BJP is close to a majority, or BJP is, I always maintained that BJP is crossing the majority mark.
Fair
but
enough.
I also expected that BJP will not cross 300.
He has always said that. He's been consistent.
Fair enough. Aarti Jairat?
Yeah, so I think I would go along with Sanjay Kumar. I'm a little surprised at the kind of numbers that are coming for the NDA. Also because one had not expected the allies to do that well, but suddenly we're finding that the allies are not doing as badly as we thought they were doing. But the very fact that it was going to be a BJP-led government,
Yes.
I think that was pretty clear from the beginning. I don't think the opposition was really in the game.
Well, one of the biggest takeaways as far as these exit polls have been the inroads in the south, Vasudha, like we've been saying. And Sam Daniel joins us live now, and he's joined by guests as well. Sam, it's over to you. Take it away. Tell us what people are thinking about these numbers.
That's right, Rishika. After the break, we'll speak to politicians and an analyst in Kanyakumari on the Tamil Nadu story from the exit polls.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
पता नहीं क्रिकेट का फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, पर सीलिंग फैंस का फ्यूचर पता है, बिकॉज इट्स ऑलरेडी हियर। ओरिएंट एरोसेंस विद वॉइस कमांड। एलेक्सा, स्विच ऑन द फैन। ओरिएंट BLDC fan, the future of fans.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
मैं सरकार दोबारा बनाने के लिए सरकार नहीं चलाता, मैं देश बनाने के लिए सरकार चलाता हूँ।
बार बार ये विपक्ष का कहना है कि साहब चाइना जो है हमारे यहाँ घुसा है।
रक्षा मंत्री होने के नाते आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूँ कि भारत की 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं करने पाएगा।
Battle for 2024.
केजरीवाल झूठ की दुकान खोल रखी है और झूठे बातें करके लोगों को बरगलाने का काम करता है।
क्या शांतिपूर्ण चुनाव हो रहा है? शुभेंद्र अधिकारी कहते हैं तृणमूल जो हिंसक घटना हो रहा है उसके लिए जिम्मेदार है।
In the last lap.
काफ़ी बड़ी रैली हुई, सारे ऑपोजिशन लीडर्स उस पर आए थे, तो आपको क्या कहना है, किस तरीके से परफॉर्मेंस रहेगी इंडिया ब्लॉक की?
NDTV has kept you ahead with extensive ground coverage.
शायोनी घोष जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस के जादवपुर कंस्टिट्यूएंसी से उम्मीदवार है।
Not just studio noise, but ear to the ground.
फिर से आपके चैनल पर कहना चाहता हूं, हम 400 पार करेंगे और शेयर मार्केट भी बढ़ने वाला है।
Elections is equal to NDTV.
वैसे शेयरिंग से याद आया, sometimes it's a thing that we need to share our Wi-Fi network. घर में कोई दोस्त आया हो, maybe there's some guest coming in and you would want to share your Wi-Fi. The problem comes if your password is very complicated or maybe you not want to say it out loud कि आपका password क्या है. ऐसे में आप Wi-Fi network कैसे शेयर कर सकते हैं? Guys, it's a very interesting method. बहुत आसान सा टिप है. Just go into your phone's settings. वहां पे जहां पे आपको वाईफाई का नाम दिखता है, just next to it or maybe if you go deep into settings, आपको एक ऑप्शन मिल जाएगा wherein you can share your Wi-Fi network just by using a QR code. आपके फोन के स्क्रीन पे QR कोड आएगा. The friend or the guest just needs to scan that code and he can connect to your Wi-Fi network without even you telling the password 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 or whatever it is. अगर आप चाहें तो इसी QR कोड का एक प्रिंट आउट लेके अपने घर में लगा सकते हैं so that anyone coming in can just scan that QR code and वो आपके Wi-Fi से कनेक्ट हो जाएगा. Quite easy, quite convenient and quite time saving as well. कैसे लगे ये टिप? मुझे जरूर बताना. You know the address. It's tg@ndtv.com.
Some people say hello and welcome. I'm Sam Daniel. We come to you from the fishing harbour of Chinnamuttam in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu. And with me, Mr. Talavai Sundaram, an AIADMK leader, MLA from Kanyakumari and also a former minister. Ms. Vijaydarni, BJP leader, former MLA who has switched from the Congress to the Saffron Party. Mr. Mervyn Alexander, a seasoned senior bureaucrat who's now retired and become a political analyst. Thank you all very much for your time. Yes. Tamil Nadu witnessed a four-cornered contest this time, but the key contest was only between the ruling DMK and the opposition, the AIADMK, and the BJP chose to fight this time alone. The DMK retained its 2019 formidable alliance which swept the polls last time, and it seems that alliance arithmetic has worked this time. But for the AIADMK, it's not so good news, and for the BJP, there was so much of hype, so many visits by the Prime Minister, Padayatra by Annamalai. Call it a poor show or call it a good beginning. First to you, Mr. Mervyn Alexander, what do you have to say about the broad trends you see from these poll of polls?
Thank you. As far as Tamil Nadu is concerned, the results, the opinion polls are seems to be in what in what we had actually sort of predicted. DMK was expecting almost a sweep, almost like what they had last time, and BJP also was doing really hard work. So result seems to be in the expected lines only. And if you ask me what exactly did the trick for both these parties, I'll begin with BJP. BJP put a lot of efforts, the number of visits the Honorable Prime Minister made to the state, the Sengol, which was a token of Tamil's participation in the parliament. Then, of course, they have actually a very dynamic and young leader, Namalai, who is ex-bureaucrat, educated engineer. So a lot of youngsters were looking at a leader with somebody like him. So all these possibly had contributed to the good beginning which BJP has achieved, at least what we see from the opinion polls, in spite of not being able to have a partnership with any of the major parties here. Right. When it comes to DMK's performance, again it was in the expected lines. I will actually attribute it to the good governance of the Honorable Chief Minister Stalin. Right. They are in power for the last 3 years.
Okay. We'll come back to you again. Good news for you for the BJP at the national level, but in Tamil Nadu, the projections are you may get around 2 or 3 seats. Poor show still, despite the Prime Minister's frequent visits?
Of course, first I would like to appreciate the central BJP as well as the state BJP We have done a lot of hard work, and our State President, Mr. Annamalai, has done a great job. And the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Home Minister both visited the nook and corners of Tamil Nadu. I first want to congratulate every single BJP worker for doing his work throughout India in getting such a big mandate, enabling Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji to become the third time hat-trick Prime Minister of this country, and particularly he is breaking the record of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. So I first give my wishes for that, and what is expected is happening, as Mr. Mebin said. What is expected is happening at the central level. What is expected is happening at the state level in Tamil Nadu. Whatever 2 seats or 3 seats or increase in vote percentage, it's definitely not only a good beginning, it's definitely we have made a mark up. From zero we are coming up. That's
you,
what.
Sir,
it's a good news.
Is there a suspicion among the voters that the AIADMK could still support the BJP after elections? Is that why you haven't been able to improve your tally?
Yes, sir. No. As far as the AIADMK is concerned, our General Secretary take a stand. We are not aligned with the BJP. Because as far as the Tamil Nadu is concerned, we are seeking for the voters. When we are interact with the voters, when you are aligned with the BJP, you cannot get the minority voters. So as far as the BJP is concerned in Tamil Nadu, exit poll only 1-2. Now my party is concerned, we got 10 to 15.
You may get 10 to 15?
Yes. I won't believe exit poll. As far as the BJP is concerned, no way. Because we are major partner, originally in 19...
Are people still suspicious that the AIADMK may support the BJP after elections?
No. We our General Secretary clearly, all the propagandas, we are saying that we are not aligned with the BJP. So we are, our aim is 2029. So we have hard work and we are fighting with the internal party and we are some legal battles are there. Now somebody says you are going to alliance with the BJP.
This is the first election under the singular leadership of Mr.
Edappadi Panichami.
You lost already 2 elections after Ms. Jayalalitha died.
Yes.
Is this result an indication of weak leadership?
There is no weakness. As far as the Edappadi Panichami, former Chief Minister and the present opposition leader is concerned, this is the first election for the Lok Sabha election.
Right.
1991. Our General Secretary, Amma got only 11. 89, 11.
Right.
2008, she got 18.
Right.
And 2009, 9 seat. And 2014,
right.
Out of 39, our General Secretary, Amma got 37. But we achieved. Now it's 2019, only 1 seat.
Okay. One more question to you, Ms. Vijayadharani. Would Mr. Annamalai win, or do you think the 2 or 3 seats could be your other ally, like PMK?
See, now we are still in the exit polls.
Right.
Definitely we would win more also. We never know. So we have to wait and see the results. So we definitely, Mr. Annamalai has an edge of winning. Strongly I feel that he will win. His winning is a whole winning of the BJP itself in Tamil Nadu, I strongly feel. And the alliance partners also are likely to win a few many seats.
The BJP should have been cautious to not have led the AIADMK to snap ties with you. You should have saved the alliance. Do you think this could have changed the tally now?
So, no, it is actually that it's a very vulnerable situation, which I really don't want to comment on the ADMK. It's a very vulnerable situation. But despite that, I would really make a comment that had ADMK would have travelled together, things would have been different. But what they expected out of this, to secure, as Anna said, to secure more minority votes, it is not going to materialize. It is not materializing.
Do you think that is what
they are on a wrong footing.
For the next
they
election,
decided on a wrong footing.
For the next election, do you think should patch up with
No,
ADMK?
we never know. We have to see the calculation. We have to see after June 4th. We will have to see where the ADMK went wrong and how it has to face the elections in future. These things are lessons what we will be learning. So it is all that. We have to wait and watch how it goes, and still they feel that minority votes, where the minority votes has gone, now they have to search.
Right.
It's very important they have to search where it has gone.
Any rethink in terms of patch up with BJP?
No, nothing.
No, clear.
Clear.
Right. Coming to you lastly, Mr. Mervin, what do you think has worked well for DMK besides the alliance arithmetic?
Of course, as I said earlier, there is good governance. Last 3 years they have been ruling, and I have seen the CM personally monitoring so many schemes, personally with the district administration. A lot of investments have flown into Tamil Nadu also.
The popular schemes like 1,000 rupee women.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's one of the most popular schemes, and obviously you'll expect all the ladies to vote for the DMK. Then there are a few other things at the macro level, like this delimitation is an issue, along with this one poll, common poll for the state and this thing. You know, traditionally Tamil Nadu has been a very, always been has fought for the rights of the state, and these are two issues which possibly would not have gone well with many of the voters also. One more thing I would like to add here is, the lot of central government employment in the state, particularly in the railways and all. There are a lot of reports that none of the locals are getting, due appointments. That may not necessarily be by design.
We're running short on time.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time, and a health warning. This is just a perspective on the exit poll results, and we should wait for the official counting on the 4th. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll slip into a short break and a lot after that.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best.
पता नहीं क्रिकेट का फ्यूचर कैसा होगा, पर सीलिंग फैंस का फ्यूचर पता है, because it's already here. Orient AeroSense with voice command. Alexa, switch on the fan. Orient BLDC fan, the future of fans.
The 2024 Lok Sabha polls are crucial for the future of this country. Having covered elections for 35 years, I hope to cut through the cacophony of a long, hot summer campaign and help to understand and decode the issues, the challenges, and finally, the outcome.
Data drives our understanding of any election. What does a dip in voting percentage mean? What are the big factors to watch out for this poll season? Join me, Amitav Tiwari, in a data deep dive only on NDTV, where we decode and simplify the data for you.
मैं सरकार दोबारा बनाने के लिए सरकार नहीं चलाता, मैं देश बनाने के लिए सरकार चलाता हूँ।
बार बार ये विपक्ष का कहना है कि साहब चाइना जो है हमारे यहाँ घुसा है।
रक्षा मंत्री होने के नाते आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूँ, भारत की 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं करने पाएगा।
Battle for 2024.
केजरीवाल झूठ की दुकान खोल रखी है और झूठे बातें करके लोगों को बरगलाने का काम करता है।
क्या शांतिपूर्ण चुनाव हो रहा है? शुभेंदु अधिकारी कहते हैं तृणमूल जो हिंसक घटना हो रहा है उसके लिए जिम्मेदार है।
In the last lap,
काफ़ी बड़ी रैली हुई, सारे ऑपोजिशन लीडर्स उस पर आए थे, तो आपको क्या कहना है, किस तरीके से परफॉर्मेंस रहेगी इंडिया ब्लॉक की?
NDTV has kept you ahead with extensive ground coverage.
शायोनी घोष जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस के जादवपुर कंस्टिट्यूएंसी से उम्मीदवार है।
Not just studio noise, but ear to the ground.
फिर से आपके चैनल पर कहना चाहता हूं, हम 400 पार करेंगे और शेयर मार्केट भी बढ़ने वाला है।
Elections is equal to NDTV.
तो फ्रेंड्स, अभी टाइम आ गया है फॉर मी टू आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस जो आपने पूछे थे इन दिस सेगमेंट व्हिच इज आस्क टीजी, वन ऑफ माय पर्सनल फेवरेट्स, बिकॉज मजा आता है आपसे बात करने में, थोड़ा सा सवाल जवाब करने में। लेट्स सी द क्वेश्चंस वी हैव फॉर दिस वीक्स एपिसोड।
हाय टीजी, क्या आपको लगता है कि फोन को बैटरी सेवर मोड पे रखने से सही में कोई फायदा है?
Well, technically, yes.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Good evening and welcome to a very special program, NDTV's Poll of Polls. It seems to be a historic third term for the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Now that's what exit polls are predicting as the seventh and the last phase of the Lok Sabha election concluded this evening. None though have yet carried the NDA crossing its dream score of 400 out of 543 Lok Sabha seats. The India bloc, 5 exit polls are predicted, will fall massively short of the 285 seats predicted by the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge.
In fact, a word of caution here, Vishnu. These are exit polls and they show trends. No exit poll can be considered as definitive. And of course, let's not forget that NDTV hasn't done any exit poll. We'll have to wait for the results on 4th. But yes, talking about the broad trend, just about every exit poll is saying that NDA under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is firmly placed to return to power. Mr. Modi is on the cusp of history. He is all set to become the next Prime Minister with an even bigger mandate is what the exit polls are suggesting.
You know, in fact, what a poll of polls is interesting and important because it is an aggregate. So it does give you, something directional and it is pretty clear. So I think before I introduce our guests, just for the benefit of our viewers, let's bring you the poll of exit polls. First, the broad national picture. We've got a breakup of states as well. So if you look at 6 exit poll results right now, then the overall situation now of 543 seats total, it's the NDA at 361 and the India Alliance at 145. Let's have the overall number up instead of just the specifics. If we can have the all India overall numbers up, I will repeat that. It's the NDA at 361, the India Alliance at 145. Now, obviously, there are variations over here, but just in going through many of the exit polls, and there are 6 of them at this stage, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 7 of them at this stage. All of them have, the lowest one, Dainik Bhaskar, gives a margin, a huge one of 281 to 350 in favor of the NDA. The largest number is India TV CNX, which has the NDA at its upper margin of 401. So it's well over 350. I think that's the big story that has emerged.
But Vishnu, just look at the numbers in terms of Dainik Bhaskar.
Very interesting.
It's a range of 70. We have
for both sides,
yes,
India as well.
Yes, and we have eminent panelists joining us. Let's introduce them, Vishnu.
That's right. We'll be joined soon by Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the Minister, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress Party with us. In fact, Rajiv Chandrasekhar with us as well. KC Tyagi, the senior leader of the JDU, Shazia Ilmi of the BJP, Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party with us in the studio. Amit Malviya, in charge of the BJP's National Information and Technology Department, will be with us. Dr. Surjit Bhalla. So it's a pretty packed panel. Ashok Malik with us, Amitabh Tiwari, Nirja Chaudhary, Vikram Aditya Singh, the Lok Sabha candidate from Mandi. So it's a big panel. It's a big show as well. But first, let me go across to Rajiv Chandrasekhar. Thanks very much, Mr. Chandrasekhar, for being with us. So on an average, it's quite easily, if you look at the all India figures, the poll of polls has the NDA well above 350 at 361 on an average, the India Alliance at 145. You'd expect it to cross 400, but would you say that, this is perhaps a more realistic estimate of where the NDA would have landed up?
So as Vishnu, thank you for having me on the show. And as Maria said, this is certainly not the result. This is the exit poll. And I certainly still will stick my neck out and say that the NDA results will be closer to 400 than 350. I still maintain that some of the losses that are being shown in Rajasthan and in Haryana and states like that are not really going to be losses for the BJP. But certainly it is very clear, as it was clear in the end of Feb, early Feb, when elections were being announced, that this will be the third term for Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. In the last 90 days, the Congress has tried its best to use all kinds of tactics, lies, misinformation, deepfakes.
Just one point, to interrupt you for half a second. Rajasthan, in fact, of 25 seats, the BJP, according to exit polls, poll of polls, is projected to get 21, the India Alliance 4. So, it's still a very strong performance. But please go ahead.
Yeah, so no, I was making the point that I think the last 10 years of the BJP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, it was clear to anybody who was taking a reasonable view towards these elections that the people were decisively going to give him another mandate. Of course, we had this spectacle of the last 90 days of the Congress and the India Alliance trotting out all kinds of tactics and negativity into these elections. And we said all along that the people of India will certainly show them the right direction and their response to this type of politics. And I think that is what these exit polls are indicating. And we will see on the 4th. I certainly believe that the results will be even better than what the exit polls are indicating when the real results come out on the 4th.
Okay, but Mr. Chandrasekhar, what your political opponents and India bloc is saying is that they are at 295 and that just as 2004, when all the exit polls got it wrong, history will be repeating in 2024 as well.
Well, look, it's easy to be delusional till the 4th. I think they've done they've had a good run of about 90 to 100 days of talking utter nonsense. And the 4th will prove that they've been talking utter nonsense, including this delusional view that they were anyway close to fooling the people of India to giving them another mandate, especially after the people of India have seen what they did in the 10 years between 2004 and 2014. So there is no way that type of corrupt, dysfunctional politics the people of India will ever embrace anytime in the near term.
We're also joined by Mr. V. Muralidharan, the Minister of State for External Affairs. We'll go to him in a moment, but I wanted to go across to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi first. Firstly, your broad reaction to this. It just seems that the India Alliance, a poll of polls shows them at just 145. And in many states where you would expect it to do well, for example, Karnataka, despite the recent assembly elections, it shows the Congress at just 6, the NDA at 22. Other than Punjab, where the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress have both done relatively well, it just seems to be a washout. How do you look at these exit polls?
Well, you have many guests and your time is limited, so let me be very pointed. See, number one, I am reminded of so many of these polls. Nobody suggested a West Bengal result in 2021. You know what happened to the exit polls. In fact, very recently in all the 3 assembly elections in the reverse direction in favor of BJP, nobody predicted Madhya Pradesh sweep, etc. in the exit polls. They got it wrong on both Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, but in favor of the BJP, they were wrong. And so on and so forth. The examples are many. So this caveat must be kept in mind. Exit polls, not opinion polls, can go grievously wrong. Number two, the 295 figure given today by the India Alliance was after a full day meeting in deep analytical consultation with local persons who were leaders who got inputs and they discussed and analyzed, and then they came to this figure. So it's not just a rabbit out of the hat which has been given. Now I'll tell you why. Obviously, the figures you've given in this poll of polls or the average of all these polls is very depressing if true. But that's a very big if. I'll tell you why. You have each of the polls has given some, although very small, seats in the south. I believe that in the 60 seats in the south of Tamil Nadu and Kerala together, if they get even one, would be a very great miracle. These 2-3 seats everywhere addition is wrong because there is absolutely none of the so-called Modi wave, none of the so-called religious divide on which it has worked in some parts of the north. Number two, you have clearly overstated in many areas. Take, for example, all the sweep states, the saturation states, have been repeated with same saturation figures. 100% back in Gujarat, 100% back in Madhya Pradesh, 100% not back, but first time in Chhattisgarh, etc., etc. Now, I believe that, yes, we may not win in those states, we may not cross the halfway mark, but to expect that you will have 100% repeat there is really wrong.
Dr. Singhvi, I want to understand from you, out of these 295 that is being predicted by the India bloc, how much is the Congress itself looking at?
No, we have decided today itself that we are not going to speak in these bits and pieces and divisive voices. We have analyzed together in a very harmonious way. So we prefer to give you a 295 figure collectively. I'm not breaking it up because that's the decision. We don't want to break it up. Because ultimately we fight together, we win together, we lose together. And I'll tell you why there is so much of overstatement everywhere. I mean, I saw a figure somewhere that the vote share of the BJP in Punjab is more than the vote share of AAP. I don't think that's possible. I think they will do better in Telangana, but I don't think they'll do so much better as to put us way behind in Telangana.
There isn't a single outlier over here in any of the polls which shows the India Alliance winning. The lowest number is Dainik Bhaskar, which places the NDA at 281. So, I mean, it seems difficult to believe that all of them have got it wrong.
Well, as I said, there have been the examples I gave you in 2021 assembly elections for West Bengal. In the last assembly elections of 2023, nobody predicted the sweep in favor of the BJP, even remotely, in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. Nobody. Tell me which did. None of them. In 2020 Bihar assembly elections, nobody predicted for the RJD-led Mahagathbandhan. There are many examples. So I think it can be possible. There is also, of course, a very big situation of tall claims, overstatement. The 400 ke par is exactly what they did in West Bengal. And they got 70.
All right.
They said 250. So I think it will be careful, it will discount. But anyway, now we are 2 days away.
Okay. Dr. Singh, we appreciate your time. Let me go back to Rajiv Chandrasekhar for a quick final comment. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, I'm looking at Kerala numbers. This is a state from where you contested, from Thiruvananthapuram. The pollsters are predicting that there could be some numbers, not just, in fact, they are suggesting that NDA could win one seat. Which is that lucky one seat that could come in your kitty, or is this your alliance partner?
Maria, I just want to respond to you and, of course, to Mr. Manu Singhvi. First of all, I think Manu is hanging on to a very, very thin thread as saying that exit polls are wrong. I just want to point out to him very respectfully, almost every exit poll got these types of numbers in 2019, and you know what the results were in 2019. So hanging on to some thread of hope, I think, is probably what the India Alliance has left, and that's fine. As far as the south of India, and again, Manu mentioned that south of India, we will do well, we will not do well. I will stick my neck out today and tell you that in the south of India, the BJP is going to be the single largest national party in the south of India. So forget about the Congress. It is going to be BJP, which is going to be the largest party in these elections in South India, national party.
I just wanted to go across to Ashok Malik at this stage. Ashok, there are, despite the overall numbers which we've discussed, a couple of states which are absolutely fascinating, where there is a close contest. The BJP, it appears, is narrowly ahead of Mamta Banerjee in West Bengal. And there is a fight, certainly, in Punjab as well, where for the second consecutive election, the BJP hasn't done well.
But just a caveat here, Ashok, because, most of these pollsters are being careful about the 9 seats that went to polls today. In fact, Axis is not even releasing the Bengal data for a simple reason that because it went to polls today, they would rather wait and look at these 57 seats differently. Please go ahead.
Okay. Just a couple of points. Since these are various polls, and let's look at it directionally rather than go down to states.
Look at states
Having said that, if you look at the political trends, electoral trends over the past few weeks, what we've covered, what we've seen reporters telling us, what we've seen in terms of feedback from politicians and these polls, if these numbers are correct, if these numbers are anywhere close to being correct, that means the BJP has consolidated in the east, probably gained in places like Orissa, and it's broken through in the south as well. Okay, whether it's 1-2 seats or 20 is another matter, but it's certainly broken through in the south. Okay, perhaps Telangana has delivered more seats and so on and so forth. In Bengal, whether BJP finishes ahead of Trinamool or the other way around is not something I don't want to go into. Mamta remains a very, very formidable local politician.
And it's very tight in the average of
I agree. Yeah. But the point is the BJP won 18 the last time. I can see it holding about that, at least holding over that much, which means that the BJP has emerged as a sustained its performance in Bengal. It's emerged as a poll. It wasn't just a flash in the pan in
No,
2019.
not at all. And its performance has been consistently going up, Assembly and Lok Sabha.
True.
And if you're marginally ahead of Mamata Banerjee, that is huge.
As I said, I don't want to go into whether it's marginally ahead or marginally behind, but it's holding on to roughly half the seats. Okay, which means that it's there for the long haul, which means Bengal's politics has changed in a sustained manner.
Yeah.
And in the case of Punjab offers something very interesting. 20 years ago in UP, there were 4 parties in contention: the BJP, the BSP, the Congress, and SP. And if a candidate won 28% of the vote, he could win the election. Punjab this time is seeing a similar contest. It's seeing 4 parties. So you will have very narrow margins of victory.
Sure.
You'll have people getting 30% and winning. And it will consolidate 2 elections down the line, perhaps.
Manisha, he mentioned Orissa, and Orissa is absolutely fascinating. 21 seats. This projects the BJD at just 5. This was the party which had the largest number of seats in both Lok Sabha and Assembly last time around. The BJP at 15, the India Alliance at 1. So in terms of the vote tally, or the seat tally, I should say, of the NDA, Odisha contributing significantly, and this is the poll of polls.
No, I think, again, the seats can be anything on the 4th, but as far as the state of Odisha is concerned, I think an important lesson here, because Naveen Babu is slated to be on the verge of a historic record 7th term, etc., but there's something that does not allow him to impact the national elections. And now one can see that when there's time for change in Orissa, the only alternative present there will be the BJP. And therefore, it is time now for even regional parties to understand that there will be change in states, and when that change is happening, a national party called the BJP is knocking in unexpected geographies. And that is something that, south of the Vindhyas is kosher, you're not going to go here, or you're not going to come to this side. I think those divisions are certainly being whittled down, and the message, even if there were 1 seat in Tamil Nadu and 1 seat in Kerala, the message will be the same, as you can see, is happening in the state of Orissa. What's the possible change when regional parties decline? And the answer will perhaps be the BJP.
Yes. So let me bring in Shazia Ilmi of the BJP, and Sujit Bhalla, psephologist, economist, is also joining us. Sujit
We
Bhalla.
have to ask Sujit which hat he is wearing.
Today.
Economist or pollster or both?
Yes, and Sujit, I remember in the conversation you and I had on how India votes, you had predicted a number that was between 320 to 350, and most pollsters are suggesting the upper range. So which number, according to you, in all these poll of polls, and polls of NDTV is also suggesting a number of 361, I would say. What's your estimate? Which is the outlier, or will it go on the upper range?
Well, thank you very much for having me. But what I will say, I've done the forecast, and I've been in the forecasting business for quite some time. And if you look at the exit polls, the usual caveat that this is not the real thing, but which is coming on June the 4th. At the risk of making yet another forecast and hoping to be right, these numbers are suggestive of a minimum number for the BJP. Because what happens, there is a wave. As you can see, that all the opposition has stressed narratives as an escape outlet from the reality. So when there's convergence in the exit polls like this, if anything, these are minimum estimates, because as a pollster, you're looking at these numbers and you say, it can't be right. What if I get it wrong? What if I'm 20 points off or 20 seats off than the other guy? So my last forecast is that these numbers will be exceeded. If you want a number from me, and I said that on your program as well, that it could go to 370 for the BJP on its own. And that's where I'm leaning towards.
Okay.
The second number, 400 par, is very likely to happen for the NDA. So I think this is a historic election. This election shows that basically of all the elections that we have held since 1952, Modi's leadership of the BJP and the NDA will exceed all the records, including likely Rajiv Gandhi's record of 49% votes and the Nehru record of 371 seats.
And Dr.
But
Bhala, just
that's
very
for the
briefly.
NDA. Yeah,
Sure.
that's for the NDA. You have to look at it because this is an alliance, whereas both Rajiv Gandhi and Nehru fought alone on the Congress.
I just wanted to, Dr. Bhala, a quick comment on, numbers as staggering as this, assuming that, with the usual caveats, we keep saying that it will bring a great deal of cheer to the market, coming just a couple of days after the latest GDP results, which have placed us, quarterly results or GDP, which have placed us at above 8%. So this would bring further cheer to the markets.
Absolutely. Look, also what will bring further cheer to the market is what is happening in the US, etc. So, we are living, stock markets are global, and the news from the US is also very positive. But independent of the news from the US, the stock market in India had been in the doldrums lately, or didn't rally as much as could have been expected because of the narrative setting of the opposition that, look, this is a close election, the BJP might lose, etc. So besides a relief rally, there would be, if you will, a reality rally likely to be again on Monday.
Okay.
If I could add something there, it's not just the stock markets, which are already a bit, some would say, overvalued. It's also the likelihood of a stable government in India, continuity in economic policy and strategy, leading to more investment, particularly in manufacturing, which is looking to diversify from China to numerous countries. India is only one of them. But this really opens up the opportunity for us.
Sure.
And Amitabh Tiwari, someone who has been watching market very closely, there'll be reasons to cheer, but we did see a lot of skepticism, which led to, in fact, Home Minister, Prime Minister, all of them give some kind of reassuring words during the course of interviews.
Yeah, so markets have been nervous, perhaps impacted by the social media chatter. But as Ashok ji has said, markets like continuity, and any number above 303 for the BJP is likely to be good news for the markets, and we could see the markets going up on Monday. And of course, they would be adjusting based on the results on June 2.
Massive swing going down when that entire conversation started taking place on low voter turnout, right? To this, I mean, it's been quite a journey.
Yeah,
in the
because
last
a 7-phase election is like a roller coaster, right? There are sentiments sometimes in favor of the NDA, sometimes in favor of the UPA. But if you see this interesting 295 number, Pawan Khera ji on the Hindi channel said 115 Congress is getting, which means 180 allies are getting. The allies are contesting themselves only on 215 seats. So he means allies are getting 85% strike rate because the Congress has contested on 328 seats out of these 543. So 180 out of 215 is what perhaps Congress is expecting the allies to win.
Okay. I wanted to go across to Ghanshyam Tiwari.
We also have KC Tyagi of the JDU joining us.
We do. But just if I could just get a quick comment from Ghanshyam, who's been waiting very patiently. If you take a look at the Uttar Pradesh numbers, while it's again staggeringly in favor of the NDA by these exit polls, 68 of 80, the India alliance is up to 12. So in a sense, you open your account and are doing better off. But again, it's still considerable. It is a whitewash. I mean, it's not significant.
Good evening to you, and I want to congratulate everyone who voted and everyone who was involved in the voting process in this grueling heat. As far as the exit polls are concerned, it's a wish list of BJP. As far as what we saw, this is not a sudden outcome. We covered the election from day one to till this date, and we saw that there was no wave. Nobody said that there's a wave for BJP. We saw the Prime Minister, his words went from Hindu-Muslim to all the way to meat, machli and mujra. We also saw the situation that every single complaint that EC has received, by and large, was about voters not being allowed to vote against BJP. So when you are seeing a consistent situation that the Prime Minister's confidence is down, there is no wave, the voting turnout is low, and voters are complaining that they are not able to vote against BJP, and then you see a massive turnout for India Alliance in Uttar Pradesh, in Bihar. I voted today in Bihar, and I can say that around those polling booths, I did not see anyone saying that they want to vote for BJP. So I am saying that clearly that the numbers put out by India Alliance are far more credible than the wishful list of
Shazia, will you respond to this? That exit pollsters are all wrong, and the numbers that has been projected by India, and particularly Mr. Kharge, is the right one, is what Ghanshyam is saying.
You know, it's very unfortunate. I feel sad when Ghanshyam talks the way he does, in the same old hackneyed manner. I mean, you know, you can only be subjective to the extent you want to be, and you can obviously will see only what you want to see, and be confirm the confirmation bias as many times as you can. But the fact of the matter is that there is a resounding victory. These are not the exact numbers, but clearly, you know, what Ghanshyam's creed is indicative of the agenda of the opposition. And this is exactly this negativity that has done them in. And I wish they could see through this as to how deluded this could be. There is so much more happening on ground zero. There is so much going on. So clearly there is a complete disconnect with the average voter, with what he or she wants and how he... So I see Ghanshyam repeating that, and everybody in the opposition, right from boycotting the exit polls or saying, oh, it's not happening, these are exaggerated. But you know, time and time again, 2014, 19, and now this.
Okay.
Third time. And so I have a huge problem with this. And I think more than me, I think the voters are tired of this. You know, throughout they talked about inflation. We all know that this government, particularly despite the two black swan events, contained it. If you look at the 10-year average of NDA, 10-year average of UPA, we did much better. They went on and on about Berozgari. Nobody's saying things are great, and they ought, but you know, on everything they were caught, and now again they're caught out. You know, there's only
Shazia, Casey Tyagi of the JDU is joining us. Shazia, just hold on to your thoughts because we are looking at Bihar numbers, Mr. Tyagi. The NDA doesn't seem to be, it's not really doing as well as it did in the last two elections, 2014 and 2019. The gains that are coming for India is more or less at the cost of JDU. So, you know, one would say that once upon a time, Nitish Kumar, who was the architect of the India bloc, has actually proved to be, when he jumped the ship, almost like a liability for BJP.
मारिया, मैं दो चीज़ें आपसे सामने कहना चाहता हूँ
जी।
एक तो मैं इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी को सैल्यूट करना चाहता हूँ। पड़ोसी मुल्क पाकिस्तान है जहाँ आउटगोइंग प्राइम मिनिस्टर जेल में है। दूसरा पड़ोसी मुल्क म्यांमार है, ऑन सान सू की जो इलेक्टेड प्राइम मिनिस्टर है वो जेल में है। तीसरा मुल्क बांग्लादेश है बाजू में, जहाँ चुनाव हुआ, नेता प्रतिपक्ष जेल में है, सारी पार्टी जेल में है। और हमारी डेमोक्रेसी सैल्यूट करने लायक है जहां प्रधानमंत्री भी बाहर है, आउटगोइंग दो प्राइम मिनिस्टर भी सम्मान के साथ देश में रह रहे हैं। एक तो इंडियन डेमोक्रेसी की ये खूबसूरती है, नंबर एक। नंबर दो, मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूं आपसे कि अभी इस किसी चैनल पे मेरे एक साथी ने कहा कि 1984 की जो जीत थी राजीव गांधी की, वो इससे बड़ी थी। मैं उस साल लोकसभा का कैंडिडेट था गाजियाबाद से, लोकदल से, विच वॉज द बिगेस्ट पार्टी। उस समय श्रीमती गांधी की हत्या होने के बाद सारा सीन बदल गया था। तो 1984 की जो जीत है वो सिंपैथी वेव की जीत थी, और जो आज की जीत है वो पिछले 10 साल में जो किए गए लोगों के लिए काम है, ये उसकी जीत है। दोनों में फर्क करना चाहिए। तीसरा, बिहार का मैं आना चाहता हूँ। इंडी गठबंधन से जब हम बाहर आए हैं, उसी दिन लिखा गया था इंडी गठबंधन का कोई भविष्य नहीं है। मेरे मित्र बैठे घनश्याम जी, थोड़े दिन बाद ये रियलाइज करेंगे कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के साथ काम नहीं हो सकता है। डे 1 से ये तिकड़म में लगे थे, नीतीश कुमार को अलग करें, और जो इसका पूरा सिस्टम है इंडी गठबंधन का कांग्रेस के हाथ में आ जाए। इसीलिए नाराज थी ममता दीदी, इसलिए नाराज थे और लोग। और आने वाले टाइम में भी आप एक और चीज़ नोट कीजिए, कांग्रेस पार्टी सपा के साथ, कांग्रेस पार्टी टीएमसी के साथ, कांग्रेस पार्टी डीएमके के साथ, कांग्रेस पार्टी एनसीपी के साथ मिल करके लड़ने लायक है। जिन राज्यों में इट इज़ कांग्रेस वर्सेस बीजेपी, वहाँ इसका कोई फ्यूचर नहीं है। 10 out of 10 हरियाणा, 25 राजस्थान, 27 out of 27 मध्य प्रदेश, 13 out of 13 झारखंड।
Okay, so Tyagiji, I get the point that you are saying that working with the Congress party is difficult for its allies. I take that point. I'm only interrupting you because we need to take a short break at this stage. In just a quick reminder, the poll of polls has of 543 seats, the NDA at 361. That's the latest number. A wave and a half is what this looks like. Similar in a sense to last time around. Short of that 400 mark, but still a resounding win if these exit polls translate to results. We'll take a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
The 2024 Lok Sabha polls are crucial for the future of this country. Having covered elections for 35 years, I hope to cut through the cacophony of a long, hot summer campaign and help to understand and decode the issues, the challenges, and finally, the outcome.
Okay, so दोस्तों अभी जो सेक्शन आ गया है, you all know it's my personal favorite because यहाँ पे मैं जवाब देता हूँ all the questions जो आपने पूछे होते हैं उन सभी के. The section is known as Ask TG. Let's see what we have this week और क्या क्या अलग-अलग सवाल हमको मिले हैं regarding अलग-अलग gadgets.
मैं अपनी बिटिया के लिए एक फ़ोन लेना चाह रहा हूँ. उसको फोटोग्राफी का अच्छा शौक है और साथ में उसकी पढ़ाई के भी काम आएगा. तो 25,000 तक कोई बढ़िया सा मोबाइल सजेस्ट कीजिए.
Okay, I'll just give you one recommendation for your daughter. If the budget is rupees 25,000, I strongly recommend that you get her the OnePlus Nord CE4. It's a great device, packed with performance, has all the features, battery काफ़ी अच्छी है, and I have seen quite a lot of youngsters use OnePlus smartphones, and 25,000 के budget में the OnePlus Nord CE4 is an amazing smartphone to get as an all-rounder. Your daughter will definitely love it. Honestly, I'll tell you there are two different ways to look at it. मतलब जो Polaroid cameras होते हैं ना, those instant cameras जहाँ पे आपने फोटो खींचा उसका print निकला, they have a different vibe altogether in terms of the color science, that rustic feel. मतलब वो जो आपको इफेक्ट मिलता है ना, इट्स क्वाइट यूनिक. एट द सेम टाइम जो पॉकेट प्रिंटर्स होते हैं उनका एडवांटेज ये होता है कि यू कैन यूज योर स्मार्टफोन्स कैमरा एंड एसेंशियली इफ यू हैव एनी फोटो इन योर गैलरी यू कैन गेट दैट फोटो प्रिंटेड इंस्टेंटली. एंड वहाँ से आप बहुत अच्छी फोटोज खींच सकते हैं अपने फ़ोन से एंड देन यूज दैट प्रिंटर टू टेक द प्रिंट आउट्स. देयर आर सम फिल्टर्स बिल्ट इन टू गेट दैट रस्टिक वाइब फ्रॉम दैट प्रिंट्स, बट देन अगेन जो वो इंस्टेंट कैमरा होता है, इट हैज़ अ डिफरेंट एबिलिटी ऑल टुगेदर. डिपेंड्स ऑन योर यूजेज. If I were you, I would take the pocket printer because मैं 2 अलग-अलग gadgets लेके I would not be happy moving around. Mobile phone से photos खींचो, जिनका print चाहिए, print निकाल लो.
Hi, how can I make sure my AC cools efficiently in the summer heat? Sometimes my AC is not able to...
It's Vishnu and me and our host of panelists who are joined us, but they have some, they are contesting, particularly Neerja had an opinion, should we go with this average? Average may not be the best way of talking about poll of polls. Neerja?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your
if you have
reservations?
One exit poll 281 and the other
that's
says...
the only one. That's the
only
outlier.
one.
That's
yeah,
the only
I
one.
know.
And that is a lower level of...
But there is an average, but I'm saying by and large poll of polls is not so accurate as some of the polls separately. But the interesting thing that is coming across, the trend is very clear. Whether it's 303, 304, 305 for the BJP or they come down to 292, whatever, in the results, the trend is that people have voted national. They have voted for the national government and they did not see India Alliance as a national alternative. Therefore, we have to see how the mindset of people, particularly the younger people, has changed. When they vote for the Prime Minister or for a government, they're voting for the Prime Minister of India. And their mindset, their psyche is rather like the voting for a presidential candidate. And I think that we have to study. What is happening? What are the changes? What are the expectations from people?
So what will become clear post this election is that there has to be a new lexicon in Indian politics. It has to be about pro-incumbency, and another reading which has to be done. And perhaps the BJP's campaign style, they had moved away completely from social media, if these numbers actually hold. On the social media, the likes and the views were being taken away by the opposition, particularly Rahul Gandhi's YouTube was on fire.
But Maria, the absence of a clear leader on the Indian side, India's side, I think has hurt them.
And no matter who it would have
program.
If 37% people are voting in the name of the prime ministerial face in an election, and if you don't declare a PM candidate, you give a free field to a prime minister like Modi, who has been contesting for his third term and is banking on a pro-incumbency.
You know what, the other thing, Amitabh, that we need to actually over here as anchors, analysts, journalists talk about, just a few days back we were asking the question or making the point that was there a national narrative, right? And this is the point I think Neerja was mentioning as well, and a lot of us felt that perhaps there wasn't a national narrative. This would be decided on a state basis. Last time around there was Balakot, there wasn't something like that this time. Usual considerations of caste, employment, jobs, etc., state-wise differences. But this result clearly seems to show that that wasn't the case.
No, it does show that BJP entered each state, fought with the regional parties, and it won many regional battles. So I think the big lesson of this election is that regional parties can no longer think that A plus B plus C put together can equal a national party and a national leader.
Narrative.
This time around, the BJP went ahead, fought the battle on the terms that the India Alliance put for them. Let them win in the YouTube and the social media channel. The BJP went ahead and won on their issues,
in every
their
state,
regional parties, their YouTube channel. Now nobody can say that
Gancham
was stopped.
has a point to make.
Let me very briefly disagree with the stalwarts. We are sitting in Delhi. BJP overplayed the Swati Maliwal case because it did not have a national story. The constituency that I spoke about, Karakat, Nobody is voting for BJP on the national story. Even in Orissa, BJP had to bank on the failing health of Naveen Patnaik, now not the national story. In Haryana, it was not a national story. In Rajasthan, BJP is losing the seats it is, which is not a national story. So I let me disagree with this all words.
Shazia, will you respond to this?
Only in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, you can say that this is a national story. Otherwise, BJP ran Prime Minister.
Let him finish half a second, Shazia.
I'm saying that the fact that Prime Minister could not build a national story shows that his brand has melted like an ice cream on a hot summer day and it cannot be created back.
But with these results, his brand is melted. Shazia, go ahead.
Incidentally, Ghanshyam, I'm having ice cream right now as you talk about melting ice cream, and mine is nice icy cold. Okay,
you're having ice cream, did you say? That cool, huh?
I don't know when you were going to cut to me, and I just wanted to treat myself to ice cream with the good news that is coming all around. So, Ghanshyam, the point I want to make is that you are saying that there is no national story, but you're missing the national story. And that is a huge miss. And I think it's important for you to get cued in, to smell the coffee, to know exactly what's needed. The connect and the national story is development, is good governance, is delivery, is the outreach. And it's a direct connection the Prime Minister has with the voter. It is looking and tick marking every need and aspiration of the poor, of the middle classes, and taking India towards an economic goal, which is Viksit Bharat. And it's just not some promise in a vacuum.
Sure.
There is actually a track record, actual mission in place, and a vision for the future. And this comes, this is very solid in terms of what we have delivered. So I don't think it's happening in a vacuum. You must at least see what's going wrong with you before you remain deluded.
Okay, Shazia, hang on for 1 second, because there's one major state which we've not focused on, and I'll come back to Ashok in a moment. Andhra Pradesh, the YSRC routed just 7. This is the exit of poll of exit polls, of course. 25 seats in Andhra Pradesh, very important state. The NDA, if these exit poll of polls hold, likely to get 18. The India Alliance 0. So if this is the case, it's a sweep completely for the NDA. Would you like to take that on, Ashok?
It was on expected lines. It was a battle between the NDA, which has carved together a very good caste alliance of Chandrababu Naidu, the Kamma party, the Kapu party of Pawan Kalyan, and the BJP with Mr. Modi's leadership against the YSR Congress. The Congress wasn't really in the race.
No.
So it was expected, it is expected, not was. The results will come in 2 days. It is expected that the NDA will have an advantage there. There's one thing I'd like to point out. Maria spoke about a need for a new lexicon. Nija, my old friend, spoke about a national narrative. You know, just because there's no Balakot or something emotional doesn't mean there's no national narrative. Every election has state issues. Every election.
So what was the national narrative?
Hold on. It has state issues as well as national issues. We are living in a time in India of enormous internal migration. Internal migration caused for many factors, including economic factors.
Yes.
If I'm living in a village in Bihar and my daughter is living in Gurgaon, my local leader cannot fix that job, cannot ensure that job. A national leader can do it. So my vote in the local election and this national election will be different. I will look at different imperatives. And this is what Mr. Modi and the BJP have captured since 2014.
Yes, and to add to that, when Prime Minister Modi was interacting with gamers, there was a lot of criticism to that, why is that being done? When he was interacting with the youth in various events, there was again criticism to that. Perhaps the mood of the nation was captured by what the BJP does on a daily basis. And if you look at it, Tamil Samagam, which happened for the last 5 years.
There are some iconic moments and events which the BJP has learned to capture, and some other national party will.
But they lost the digital narrative.
Some other national party may do it.
I'm saying that you landed on the digital narrative late.
I'm saying
10 years too late.
Example was gamers. BJP squarely lost the digital narrative, not a single ad campaign.
Breaking news, everybody, in terms of exit polls, so all the riders apply. News 24 and today's Chanakya with a single number have placed the NDA at 400, right? At India at 107, there is no margin over here. Amitabh, that's interesting, isn't it? Today's Chanakya has been one of the major.
It is a poll which is an outlier poll. It does not do adjustments, and we'll have to wait and see. In 2014, it was bang on because it was the only channel which gave 340, and the actual number was 332. So it is a agency which banks on outlier and its gut, and we'll have to see on the 4th whether this holds true or not. See, there is a national narrative, and as Manisha ma'am is saying, when BJP became aware that there were regional narratives also which was hurting this national narrative, they entered into alliances with TDP, brought Nitish Kumar back, entered into alliance with RLD. That's how they tried to diffuse
got
this.
it right when? In
2014.
2014,
they got it right.
Bang on.
You know, I want to
19 also.
400. No other number. 400 and India 107.
But, you know,
no margin.
Someone spoke about the digital narrative being won or lost by somebody. You know, there's an old line from the Spanish Civil War, which was fought between the Republicans and the Nationalists. The Republicans said, they won the war, we had the better songs.
Right.
Yes, so it is the similar point that could be raised by opponents if the numbers hold.
I today feel that, let everybody speak. And I think the India Alliance now cannot say. They spoke out. People spoke out. Everybody spoke out. But these are the numbers. Can any other number replace any one of this? So the point is that all kinds of issues have been spoken out. Everybody feels they've had their chance. Great for Indian democracy. And I still feel that Prime Minister Modi went into every trench, however difficult it was, and then won the battle from each one of those
just
in
half
many
a second.
languages.
We've got
What
Amit
do you do to
Malviya
that?
who joins us at this stage. Thanks, Mr. Malviya, very much for being with us. I'm looking at
Bengal
10
numbers.
separate polls, in fact, and in all 10 polls, it's 350 plus, with one of them giving the BJP a single number of 400. Is this beyond your expectations, or do you believe that the upper level, close to 400, perhaps even 400, is still realistic?
Vishnu, this is pretty much in line with what we have been saying since the beginning of the election. Prime Minister had said that we will look to get to 370 on our own, and the NDA would touch 400 mark, and that is what directionally most exit polls seem to be suggesting. So we were quite excited about the result on the 4th of June, because we are quite certain that the mandate is overwhelmingly going to be in favor of Prime Minister Modi, and he'll become the only Prime Minister in independent India's history to come back for a third consecutive mandate with an increased seat tally and vote share. No other Prime Minister in India has ever achieved this, not just in India, but even globally. There is no match for an accomplishment like this.
Mr. Malviya, since you're also in charge of the state of West Bengal, you have been in and out of Bengal, managing your party's affairs. Let me ask a specific question with regards to Bengal. The numbers, of course, are that you are doing better than 2019, but perhaps not as good as the party's own estimate has been, which was around 30. In fact, Axis and a number of other pollsters have been careful. They have not released the Bengal numbers because 9 seats went to polls. What is how are you looking at these numbers?
Well, Axis has released their number. I was just on their channel, and they have projected that the BJP will win between 26 and 31 seats in West Bengal, and the number for the TMC is between 11 and 14. But like I said, I would wait for the 4th of June. But I'm not surprised by the fact that the BJP will emerge as the single largest party in West Bengal. And let me give you the reasons for that. Ever since Mamata Banerjee won a third term in 2021, which was followed by horrific post-poll violence, and then a spate of corruption one after the other, lawlessness, and most recently Sandesh Khali, which is a blot on Mamata Banerjee's legacy, and the recent court ruling which struck down minority reservation for the OBCs. There's nothing that has gone in favor of West Bengal. Not just these events in the last 3 years, but if you look at West Bengal, under Mamata Banerjee, the state hasn't seen a single reform. Education is in peril. Perhaps it's the only state where the entire education department today is in jail because of the SSC recruitment scam. More than 51 crore cash was recovered from Mamata Banerjee's close aide and Minister Partha Chatterjee. Then you had the Russian scam. You had strongmen like Anubrato Mandal and Sheikh Shah Jahan being arrested for various crimes. You had Sheikh Shah Jahan violating women of Sandesh Khali since 2011, and Mamta Banerjee turning a blind eye to it. And when the matter came to fore, she, instead of acting against the perpetrators, defended Sheikh Shah Jahan and dragged her feet for almost 3 months before the courts intervened and the central agencies stepped in. The recent ruling, which struck the minority reservation in OBC, has all gone against Mamta Banerjee. West Bengal is the only state in this entire election which has seen about 960 million voters to have a political murder. A BJP Karyakarta in Sandesh Khali was shot in cold blood at around 5:30 just when the election was closing. Now with this kind of lawlessness, this kind of lack of governance, no reforms, obviously people of West Bengal are fed up, and that is exactly what you are seeing in the numbers that have emerged from West Bengal. And another very interesting insight on Bengal, that is the only state where the BJP's vote share between 2019 Lok Sabha and 2021 Assembly election did not change materially. It remained at about 40%, and that is quite unique because generally if Prime Minister Modi is on the ticket, there is a big upsurge in the state. But the BJP vote bloc is so consolidated in Bengal and has now obviously grown because the various projections that have come show the BJP's vote share at 46% and Mamata Banerjee's party down to 40% from 43 earlier. So that is a massive shift away from the TMC, and I'm quite certain this momentum will continue in the next assembly election whenever it happens.
I just wanted to ask you one final question. As somebody who tracks social media as closely as you do, in the battle of narratives, it appears that the BJP has come out very strongly despite a very strong social media narrative which the BJP was also pitching. Now, it's also wrong to assume that everybody consumes social media. But if I was to ask you, would this be an important factor in people making up their minds in the battle of narratives on social media? How would you respond?
Look, one can't deny that social media today is a very powerful medium, but you also have to understand that you can't wake up 3 months before the election and get active on social media. Just like governance, just like running an organization, or for that matter, perpetuating the narrative or the discourse is an ongoing process. Unfortunately, the BJP does not believe in peacetime. We are constantly working, taking to the people our message, the ideological message, the governance stories, and it's a 24/7 thing. If the Prime Minister works as hard as he does, then there's no reason for us in the party to let him down. And so we also work perhaps not as hard as him, but we try and catch up with him. And that's what we've been doing all the last 10 years, and that is what you see really play out. But as you get closer to the election, then your field work, your traditional means, your organization, your social media, everything has to come together. But unfortunately, for the opposition, it seemed that nothing seemed to work for them. They don't have the leadership, they don't have a policy, they don't have a way forward. On the contrary, you have Prime Minister Modi, who has a delivery track record of last 10 years. He has articulated what he intends to do over the next 5 years. He's also articulated a vision for the next 25 years till 2047. Okay. So why would people not vote for a man who has materially changed their life, has given them hope, has ensured development and prosperity? He's uplifted the sentiment of the country as a collective. Today, India is seen as this new rising bloc in the world order. It has a completely new security and a defense paradigm. It is seen as a very lucrative destination. Manufacturing is booming. Unemployment is at the lowest. Inflation is at the lowest. We have just clocked 8.2% GDP growth. Our forex reserves are all-time high. Our exports are all-time high. It is all showing in the mandate. I mean, there is a very big section of Labharti who have benefited from his governance program. So there is really no one who has not been touched by his governance. It is an emotive government. It's a government that delivers. It's a government that has people connect, and Prime Minister Modi himself continues to remain as popular as he is after being in public life for over 20 years and as Prime Minister now for a decade. And I'm sure the coming 5 years are going to be one where he will do wonders for the country, and we all will sort of live in a country which we always aspired for, a country that's developed, it's forward-looking, is something that is respected around the world. So we're in for good times.
All right, Amit Malviya, wonderful speaking to you. Thanks so much for joining us. We've just got about 2 minutes left on this program. Nija has a point. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Very quickly on this whole issue of narrative that we talked about, on this side, there was clear vote for continuity if the figures are come out to be right. And that is creditable because they're breaking into new ground, south, east. On the other side, on the India side, there was a greater expression of dissatisfaction this time and loud expression. But they obviously could not convert that dissatisfaction into, I won't say votes, into seats. And the reason I think would be no clear leadership face and not an alternative that was credible for the public.
Okay.
Let me just say one thing.
Just 30 seconds before we wrap it up with the...
Mr. Malviya said it's a mandate, it's an exit poll. And I want the viewers to reflect that even today, one exit poll in this list of wishful thinkers has said 281 to NDA. And if that is the case, then a lot of wishful thinking is going to be whitewashed.
That was a lower number. Well, fair enough. Let's see what happens.
No, but still, Ghanshyam, that is above 272, which is the majority mark.
I think it should. We are harping on a trend. I'm saying that trend is not as obvious as one does a poll and poll of polls.
What defines this election is that there was only one party contesting to win. The other party was trying to pull down BJP to below 400.
All right, everybody, we need to wrap this up. We've got lots to debate, but I just want to end the show by taking one final look at the poll of polls. So we've got the number over there on your screens. The NDA, if these are exit polls, once again, real results on the 4th. At 366, this is the average. India at 144. Some exit polls have gone up to 400. We'll see what finally takes place, but this is a very clear trend. I'd like to thank all of you very much for being with us. Fascinating election and perhaps an equally fascinating result day. Maria?
Yes, and Vishnu and I and the entire team of NDTV will be there up and about by 6 a.m. on 4th. But yes, let's not forget that tomorrow there are 2 states where the assembly results are also coming. So our spotlight will be also on those 2 states.
Good night.
Thank you.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola.
Biggest carnival of democracy, India's general election.
Prime Minister Modi makes a formidable bid for a hat-trick.
The opposition is trying to mount a united challenge.
And the southern parties are standing their ground.
As battle lines are drawn,
join us on an exciting journey on the road to 2024.
Indian elections, a festival like no other. And NDTV covers elections like no other. When India votes, you can count on us.
मैं सरकार दोबारा बनाने के लिए सरकार नहीं चलाता, मैं देश बनाने के लिए सरकार चलाता।
बार बार ये विपक्ष का कहना है कि साहब चाइना जो है हमारे यहाँ घुसा है।
रक्षा मंत्री होने के नाते आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूँ कि भारत की 1 इंच जमीन पर भी कोई कब्जा नहीं करने पाएगा।
Battle for 2024.
केजरीवाल झूठ की दुकान खोल रखी है और झूठे बातें करके लोगों को बरगलाने का काम करता है।
क्या शांतिपूर्ण चुनाव हो रहा है?
शुभेंदु अधिकारी कहते हैं तृणमूल जो हिंसक घटना हो रहा है उसके लिए जिम्मेदार है।
In the last lap,
काफ़ी बड़ी रैली हुई, सारे ऑपोजिशन लीडर्स उस पर आए थे, तो आपको क्या कहना है, किस तरीके से परफॉर्मेंस रहेगी इंडिया ब्लॉक की?
NDTV has kept you ahead with extensive ground coverage.
शायनी घोष जो तृणमूल कांग्रेस के जादवपुर कंस्टिट्यूएंसी से उम्मीदवार है।
Not just studio noise, but ear to the ground.
फिर से आपके चैनल पर कहना चाहता हूं, हम 400 पार करेंगे और शेयर मार्केट भी बढ़ने वाला है।
Elections is equal to NDTV.
This tip is about WhatsApp. मैंने ऐसा आज तक एक भी इंसान नहीं देखा जो एक स्मार्टफोन यूज करता हो बट WhatsApp यूज ना करता हो। That's how deeply penetrated WhatsApp is. And the tip is just to maintain your privacy over some chats. Now, अगर आपके WhatsApp में there are a few chats जिनको आपको lock करना है, you want to make them private. Now you can use this option of chat lock. This is not something new. ये काफी टाइम से है, but then not many people are aware about this. So if you want to lock any particular chat, आप सीधा उस chat को open करने के बाद में when you go at the options, you can lock this chat so that वो केवल आपके fingerprint या आपके face से या किसी password से ही open हो. Becomes very convenient अगर आप अपना फोन किसी को देते हैं and you don't want them to open your WhatsApp and then open a particular chat and then scroll all the way up. मतलब you know the drill. So you can use chat lock अपनी chats को private रखने के लिए.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and
This is NDTV and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello, Moto.
Exit polls predict a thumping BJP win. Modi 3.0 is coming, an exit sign for the opposition. NDTV poll of polls says that the NDA is set to win over 360 seats this time. Curtains on India's massive polls. Overall, nearly 60% turnout in the final phase. Jharkhand leads with 70%, the lowest turnout in Bihar. The countdown to the big results day, the India bloc's key meeting. Meanwhile, ahead of the D-Day, Kharge says India bloc will win at least 295 seats. In the Pune Porsche case, the accused teen's mother is now arrested. The mother has been accused of swapping the blood samples with her son. Extreme heat across the country. Heatwave kills 56 people in just 3 months as per the Health Ministry. Heat-related deaths reported in Odisha, Bihar, UP and Rajasthan. The Rajasthan government meanwhile confirms 9 deaths due to heatwave. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I am Vedant Agarwal. Well, the exit polls have predicted a big victory for the NDA. If you look at the NDTV poll of polls, the NDA is set to cross the 360 mark. In fact, most reliable pollsters tell you that the NDA is set to return with a thumping majority. The India bloc is placed at around 140 to 160. What are really the big takeaways? Where is the BJP gaining? Where is the BJP losing? Well, Maria Shakil joins us in studio. Maria, what are the big takeaways? That these numbers seem to suggest.
So if these numbers hold, Vedant, as journalists, we have always been careful and cautious because these are exit poll numbers, not the actual results, which we'll be seeing also finally on 4th. If these numbers hold, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to return with a bigger mandate. He'll become the only Prime Minister in Indian political history to have bettered his numbers. So the BJP is not only holding on to the numbers that they won in 2019, which was around 303, they are also improving. The big message would be that Indian politics and analysts will need new lexicon. If it is about pre-incumbency, it was about pro-incumbency in 2019, then what will this incumbency or pro-incumbency be called? So perhaps a new language. Mr. Modi and his popularity remains intact. The big ideas of this election would certainly be that we have been talking about how the BJP is not really prepared to take on the regional players when they fought in the turf of regional players. Because if you look at Bengal in particular, Trinamool Congress versus BJP playing on ground, and the exit pollsters are predicting a number of 25 to 31. If that is the range, which essentially means that the BJP is prepared to take on also the regional players, be it RJD in the state of Bihar, because the exit polls are suggesting that they are in the upwards of 32, 34, which is almost closer to what were the results in 2019. And again in Uttar Pradesh, despite all the surround sound, the BJP seems to be doing really, really well, bettering its number of 2019. But again, in the look east policy seems to have worked in Odisha in particular, because numbers are surprising. Many pollsters are suggesting that the concern, of course, for the party would remain southern India. They may be improving their vote tally, although none of the pollsters have suggested or released the vote share. But in terms of translation of seats, there is not much of a surprise either in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu.
And Mara, you have used a very interesting term, and you have used it through this election, the catchment areas of the BJP. You talk a great deal about that. You know, whether it's the Hindi heartland, the Modi